The time is 5:01, and I hereby call this Flint City Council Finance Committee meeting to order. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson is not in. Ms. Priestley?
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter is not in. Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat? Present. Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett? Present. You have 4 members present.
We have 4 members present. We will resume as soon as we establish quorum. As soon as LaShawn sits down. Well, we can do quorum right now, Madam Clerk. We can do roll call again. As soon as you sit down, we'll do roll call again. As soon as you sit down, we'll do roll call again. Madam Clerk, could we have roll call again, please?
Okay, at 5:05, we will redo the roll call. Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson?
Present.
Ms. Priestley?
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Present.
Ms. Burns?
Oh, present.
Ms. Mashat? Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett? You have 7 members present.
We have 7 members present. Reading of disorderly person city code subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of Flint City Code Section 3110, disorderly conduct, assault and battery, and disorderly persons, and will be subject to arrest for misdemeanor. Any person who prevents the peaceful and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given 1 warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. Are there any requests for agenda changes or additions? Ms. Mashat, was there consumers going to become in this meeting? No, I'm sorry, it's the other meeting. Okay, all right. All right, so it's now time for public comment. Members of the public who wish to address the City Council or its committees must register before the meeting begins. A box will be placed at the entrance to the council chambers for collection of registrations. No additional speakers or slips will be accepted after the meeting begins. Members of the public shall have no more than 3 minutes per speaker during public comment, with only 1 speaking opportunity per speaker. Madam Clerk, who is our first public speaker?
The first speaker is James Moore.
Good evening, James Moore, Second Ward. I don't know if I can say a public announcement, hopefully so you guys will pick it up and run with it. But would you please alert our people to slow down in the city of Flint? We have potholes everywhere, and they're damaging cars. So if they slow down, you can survive through the pothole epidemic. So if you guys don't mind, to save lives, keep people from getting killed here in the city and probably across the state, and remembering what our governor said, fix the damn roads. 7 years and they're still bad.
Next public speaker, please.
The next speaker is Beverly Biggs Levy.
Hi, my name is Beverly Biggs Levy. This is a new year. All of you gotta run for the seat. Bring the mic down? Okay. All of you gotta run for the seat. This is gonna be interesting, real interesting. I think about when me and you, LaShawn, was out getting signatures for Liddell. You always said you was gonna run for that Second Ward council seat. You gotta run for your money, I guess, this time. Because you and Liddell is running, and a couple other people. I don't see how Leon can say he live at a different address when he's been using 606 East Mott Street. Now it's Parkway. We can't make this stuff up. But he live in Mount Morris. Oh no, he's in Tanya's ward now. This is gonna be interesting, but I will be running for that Third Ward City Council seat, and I will not give up. Dennis, I pray you stay. I pray Jonathan stay. Jerry and Tanya, I love you to death, but I know you need to do something different. I just think that we need to do better when it comes to our city, and we're not. We're doing everything that's crooked. I want to see what y'all gonna do crooked, second and third. Y'all did crooked for the 3rd ward. I want to see what y'all gonna do crooked for the 2nd ward. One of you gonna have to wind up getting it, I guess. We pray that our city get better. We pray that we have new people on these seats that's gonna do for the people and not for their pockets. And that's so important. You don't care about what the city need, but you know what you need for your 501c3s, and you know who you are, the ones that getting it. And a lot of that's probably gonna be cut out next year for 2027, or this year for 2026. I pray all is well, and we get on a better outlook for the city in 2026. Have a blessed day.
The next speaker is Sarah Houston.
Sarah Houston, 6th Ward. It was very disappointing to hear Liddell question the need for access. To ask how many requests were made and for everyone to make note of that was just disrespectful within itself to the deaf community that reside here in the city of Flint. They don't feel welcomed when you don't offer the access that they so rightfully deserve. To offer closed captions as an option or a better option, take some time and look at closed captioning yourself. It's not accurate. Sign language is a separate language from English. It has completely different syntax and grammar. Deaf people are language deprived because they are born to hearing people who are convinced by the medical society that they need to be fixed and they need to assimilate to the hearing community. You as a hearing person don't know this, nor do you seem to care, because you continue this talk about, is how many people have asked for access, this, that, and whatever. They have to feel like they belong. They have to feel as if they are welcomed. So give them what they deserve, which is access under the law. Equal access. Find a way to make the money work, you guys. Act like you give a damn about the deaf people who live and pay taxes in this city. Thank you.
The next speaker is M. Young.
Good evening and hello to everyone for 2026. I pray that this year, as far as the hostile environment in this room settles down, I pray that each one of you take a moment before you speak and get offended. I do know that sometimes it's offensive what people get up here and say, but just have a little, some people are frustrated. We've had a water crisis for multiple years and we're still at 90, 95%. People are frustrated. So be a little lenient, give a little grace. You all want grace, so give it to the citizens that take the time to come here and speak. As far as the finance chair, I would like to ask Judy again, and I know this is a broken record, but I'm gonna ask again as the finance chair, how much money of ARPA is left? Can we get it in writing? I still would like to know how much ARPA funds are left to allocate. And then my second question about ARPA funds, I noticed that there was an audit done by the Neighborhood Engagement Hub for the $30,000 or what have you. Have we done audits for other people that have received ARPA money to verify that everyone who received are using those funds appropriately? It would be nice to see the results of all of that money that was given to different organizations come back and say, how did it help for whatever problem they said it would resolve? I ask that each one of you take one 501c3 and ask them to come up and give us some feedback, just so we'll know that money wasn't wasted or used inappropriately. DDA needs some help, Ms. Finance Chair, with the DDA. I came the other day just to drop a bill off, and it was after hours. So the city was closed, and I just wanted to put it in the mailbox down here. When you look on the City of Flint website, it doesn't say what time you have to stop paying for parking. But even if I was, say, a senior, and I know that a lot of them drop off their bills in the mailbox outside, they shouldn't have to pay $1 for, we should have like some type of grace period out here for parking. And if you can't do that, the city needs to move the mailbox closer to the street so that people can drop off their voter ballots and their bills. Just to pay $1 for you to just come and drop something in the mailbox, that could change somebody's home environment. So any help with that would be appreciated.
The final speaker for this meeting is Rosalind Salbenblatt.
I want to thank you for allowing me to address the committee. I'm here to speak about the proposed ordinance 26006. I'm a member of the Bridge Brigade that has been protesting on the Beach Street I-69 overpass every Friday since February 28th, 2025. We're there for about 2 hours. We leave the area cleaner than we found it and have had good response from the public for being out there. We reviewed MCL Section 257.615 and are in compliance with all restrictions in that statute. We do not do anything that resembles any emergency vehicles or presents a distraction to the drivers on the expressway. No flashing lights or reflective materials. We do not promote or denigrate any political candidates. We bring awareness of current events that are happening. Most of the time, the city police drive by and county sheriffs, we've had an increase in that recently, and they give us a thumbs up for expressing our First Amendment rights of freedom of speech. The DOT has stopped a few times and told us we couldn't have things on the bridge. We informed them that we are within our rights under statute MCL Section 257.615, and they have left. The MDOT attempted an administrative rule change. They had an open comment period, got thousands of negative responses due to the freedom of speech on public property. There's nothing moving forward with that at this time. I did look yesterday. There is also, I believe, legislation pending at the state level that I've been told will not go through. This ordinance proposal and the other attempts that have been made are nothing more than a blatant attempt to shut down our right to free speech and peaceful protesting. We, the people, say no to those attempts. We are guaranteed to the right of freedom of speech by our national constitution. Shutting down our right to use public property for freedom of speech is the same as denying us the right of freedom of speech. Do not take away our constitutional rights. Would you like a copy of this?
Give it to the clerk, please, and she'll pass it on.
Madam Chair, that was the final speaker.
Thank you. It's now time for council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers, only after all public speakers have spoken. An individual council member's response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Would anyone like to?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone, 2026. I am in agreement that hopefully this will be an amazing year for the council in which we can sit here and do the work that we are supposed to do for the residents of the city. I want to address a couple of things that some people said. you made a suggestion that we invite the recipients of the ARPA grants to come and speak to how the spending is going and if they're meeting any milestones or metrics that they have placed in order to get the funding. I will invite some in here, especially some that received money in the 7th Ward. I will invite them to come and speak and give an update on what they're doing with their ARPA money and if they're moving forward, if they're meeting any metrics, as well as I can reach out to some who are elsewhere, but I will specifically reach out for 7th Ward recipients, and then any other 501s that I just happen to catch up to, I will invite them to come speak as well, so that they can give a report on what they're doing with their ARPA money. And then you also spoke to parking in front of City Hall. One, it alarms me because you said it was after hours. And so you should not be getting a ticket anyway if it's after hours. But also, if all you did was come up and drop something in the drop box, you have 30-minute free parking in front of City Hall to conduct business. So if you did receive a ticket, we can get that ticket. You did not? Okay. But just so you know, there is a 30-minute grace period for anyone conducting business inside of City Hall that parks in front of City Hall. So there is a grace period there. And then as far as the woman who came up and she spoke about Resolution 26006, that is in Legislative Committee. It's not, that resolution is not in this committee, but thank you for providing us with that paper so that we can take a look at it to see a little bit more about what you're talking about before we get to that committee and vote on it. I yield, Madam Chair.
Anyone else?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I'd like to say Happy New Year to everybody, and thank you guys all for coming out, and looking forward to working for you in the new year of 2026.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Ms. Burns.
thank you. I want to say thank you to the 6th Ward residents, Sarah and Michelle, because it is always some active 6th Ward residents that are in here voicing their opinion. And Michelle, there are 2 that are coming. It'll probably be in the next month to talk about the rubrics, what they have met, and they've done some great things. When we talk about Mott Park has a Going Green garage where you can utilize a electric lawnmower. You can use the blowers, anything so that we don't have to get all the calls with blight, but cut your grass. They can utilize those lawnmowers for free. And also with Bethel Church, with the great things that are going on there, where you can go, anyone can go there on Monday to get free food, then also get a COVID test, get a flu test, also get cholesterol. So there are many great things that are going. I wanted to make sure with my ward money that it would be seen even after if I was not in the 6th Ward or in the seat anymore. And that was important to me, to keep it so it's something that's sustainable. Sarah, I agree. And I never told you my grandmother was deaf, and I had to learn how to read lips. And when her phone rang, it was a light, it was so antiquated that would just go off in her home. And if they decide right now that they want to come to a meeting, they should be able to come to a meeting and have someone in a language that they should be able to understand and communicate with. And it is dragging on. We just got back. It needs to be done. Language, we have language barriers, and this should not be one for our deaf community. We have the largest Michigan School of the Deaf, less than, 5 miles from here, and we can't get someone here to be an interpreter. It's inexcusable at this point. We find money for everything else. We should find money for that.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes.
Go ahead.
First, I would like to say Happy New Year to you all. And I would like to thank the residents who are here. Thank you for being engaged in the process. I'm really hoping that for this year, 2026, that we can get more residents to come down and be engaged. Also, I would like to say to Ms. Young, I will definitely invite some of the individuals or organizations that received ARPA money, particularly those who received ARPA money in reference to my $30,000 ward initiative. That's a good idea to have them come and speak about what it was that they, did and the outcomes of it. And Miss Sarah, thank you. Thank you for coming and speaking. Actually, if you think about it, this should have been done years ago. It should have been done years ago. And I'm when you came to us the first time, I was like, you know what, she's right. So thank you for always coming to the podium and pressing the issue. And so hopefully we can get something done and put some money in the budget to make sure that it can continue on. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Seeing none, I will take a few minutes. You know that I know American Sign Language, and that I know the syntax is very much different, and not all deaf individuals can read. Their reading skills, I have a tax client whose reading skills and understanding, even with an interpreter present, is very difficult. So I am behind getting a sign language interpreter. It is working on the funding, and I took the holiday off, so that will be started again probably next week. And also the ARPA, tracking the ARPA dollars is never my job. It is the administration's job. If you want to know how much money is left in the ARPA, you may FOIA that information, just like I would have to. I kept track of the ARPA money for the council reasons for community grants. I stopped doing that. So you may go ahead and FOIA that information. And now it is time for the consent agenda. Is there any?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda, to send the consent agenda to council.
There's a motion to send the consent agenda to the council by the councilwoman in the 7th Ward. Is there support? Is there any separations? All right, it's totally separated. Our one and only resolution is 260000, BSNA Software Upgrade, Addition of Business Licensing and Special Assessments Application.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Motion to send to council.
Support.
Motion by the councilman in the 8th Ward, supported by the councilwoman in the 7th Ward, to send to council. Is there
Madam
any
Chair,
discussion? Go ahead.
Through you to Mr. Moore.
Mr. Moore.
Mr. Moore, since this was not a budgeted expense, can you tell us what the benefit to the city residents this is going to be?
This is a major upgrade to the software. It is something that, let me go back a step. The reason why it wasn't budgeted, it's a capital item, it's in an internal service fund, which means that it won't show up in the revenue and expense of that fund.
Well, it wasn't budgeted because we adopted last year's budget, so this one couldn't have been budgeted.
Right.
So just broadly speaking, can you tell how spending $600,000 is going to improve the system and how it's going to improve the interaction with?
Absolutely.
That's what my question is.
The first item I'll talk to is the security of the system. Right now, everything is, the version we have is housed in this building, and we are responsible for making sure that the hackers can't access it. With this upgrade, it'll be moved to the cloud. The vendor will be responsible for maintaining security. They have much better security than we could ever hope to have. So our data will be a lot more secure. Second, the program is designed the way the business world works today. Right now, if you try to export many of the reports to Excel, there's a lot of work to make it useful. Sometimes an account number would have 3 lines, and you'll have 30,000 lines that you have to deal with. With this program, with the upgrade, it'll all be in one line. You won't have to spend hours trying to manipulate the data so that you can use Excel to access it. It's going to make it so that we always had the most recent update on everybody's computer as soon as they log on. Right now, every week, we have to update our programs, and like I have like 7 programs that I use, so I have to make sure those 7 are updated every time. I have 2 computers, so that's twice as many. It takes me roughly an hour a week to upgrade everything. That will be gone. Won't have to worry about that. It's going to provide us with some software. Like one of the big things is being able to send work orders to our water service center and have it sent to the field on their iPad so they can address it immediately. If you want to turn somebody's water on, we can send a message saying, turn on this person's water. They'll get it, and they can do it that afternoon. They don't have to come to City Hall to get the work order.
So, just to, because my time is running out, how will this save the city money in the long run? Because I don't think we're cutting any labor downstairs as far as, like, it may be more efficient, but we're just adding an expense. We're not cutting any labor. So tell me how this is going to add a cost benefit in the long run.
Some of the other items, we won't be storing we won't have to maintain the servers in-house. The vendor's going to be.
So how is this going to save the city money?
That will save us money because we won't have to maintain those servers in-house. There's a lot of these items are labor-saving devices that we will save. The other thing you have to remember is that many of the items that we're talking about, these are all going to be required at some point. The vendor is going to insist that everybody update their software at some point.
And what is the yearly, because now we're going from something that we purchased, right? Now we're going to a subscription base that's going to cost us money every year till the end of time, right? So what is that yearly expense?
Jeff can probably answer that better than I can.
Yeah. Currently, for the on-prem, it's about $128,000 a year. And this one with the 2 new systems will be around $342,000 a year.
Anyone else?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
thank you. Through you to the speakers. Just for clarification, currently, annually, we're about 100, you say 28?
128,000. Yeah.
Okay, and in addition to the 600,000 to, I guess, purchase the license or what have you, in addition to that, approximately $300,000 a year?
Yes, but of that 600, the first year's 348,000 is included in that. So then after that installation, it'll be 348 a year.
Okay. And we would get invoiced for that 348 after the first year?
Yes, that's the 600 would cover the first year as well as installation.
Okay. Will this reduce any expenses like insurances or policies that we might otherwise now be expending dollars for?
I'm not sure. It'll be. It certainly is going to be a labor-saving device. The fact that we don't have to spend time updating our computers every week is going to save everybody in the city that uses it time. Mm-hmm. The fact that we can, one of the things that we'll be able to do is use their program for credit card processing. That will make it much, much simpler for us to reconcile our bank statements every month. We'll save hours every month by using their program as opposed to using a third party.
Okay, but to your knowledge and understanding, it's not gonna eliminate the need for us to carry any insurances that we might otherwise be paying now at, to cover, any kind of breaches.
I don't think, right now, we are uninsured for cyber insurance.
We're currently uninsured?
That's correct.
Okay.
I think this will go along the ways towards making it so that we're more insurable.
Okay.
And I think it's also going to greatly enhance the security of our system. Right now, it's very difficult for, we have to spend a lot of staff time. We got to spend a lot of time worrying about trying to keep our data secure every single day. With this, the vendor's going to take that responsibility.
Okay, I believe I understand. I apologize, I don't know your name, but you were nodding as it related to like some of the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything quantifiable that you can add to this?
Well, I know that him and I both have like large reports that we run. I have reports that take 2 to 4 hours. And so when I'm running them in my system currently, I'm dead in the water to do anything. With this new program, it actually runs them behind the scenes so I can continue working. And his is the same thing with Amanda. So they run them behind the scenes so we can continue working, and those reports will pop up when they're done instead of running where we don't have access to our computers.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can I ask you to share your name and your department?
I'm Stacy Bassey. I'm the assessor.
Okay, thank you.
What you're talking about, the reports is a very real problem. Some of the reports that Amanda and I run, we run at night because the rest of the users complain about how long and how much it slows the system down. But by being able to do it at night, or during the daytime, it's going to save us time, and it's not going to impact any of the other users when we
And that is going to be attributed directly to purchasing, to having this put in the cloud or processing?
Yes.
it?
Correct.
It's the way they process is completely different. They have a completely separate server for processing the reports, so it's not going to impact somebody that's trying to enter in a cash receipt.
And then, I guess, one other thing that's not jumping out at me. Was there a bid process that was executed, or was this a one-source type thing?
I got this one. So this is a sole source because of me. Currently, the State Tax Commission only has one company that is certified for assessing departments throughout the state to use, and that is BSNA. We have CAMA standards, which is computerized
Stacy,
appraisal
I'm going to have
mass
to cut you
standards.
off. I'm going to cut you off. We'll get back to you.
Okay.
Anybody else? Go ahead. Yep, thank you. That's what I
Okay.
was going to do.
So it's our CAMA standards, which we have a committee that I am on. So we have standards that we have to meet with our computerized systems. So throughout the state, we are all doing the same thing and have the same coding. And BSNA is currently the only system that has been certified through the state, and it will be a while before we have other options through other companies.
Okay, Stacy, I didn't realize your name wasn't Cake anymore.
No, it's not.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. So when was the last time the system, because it sounds antiquated, how old?
We switched to .NET. I've been here, it'll be 9 years on Friday, and we changed back when I was at Burton, so probably 15 years ago was when we went to .NET, so it is time for a change. It is time to bring that system up to date.
It's way
Yeah.
past time.
Yeah,
Because software can easily be outdated. I mean, that's a long time.
right. And I have been to other, since this came out, I've been to a few other units and have looked at the program, and it definitely has some perks. There's still, as always, some glitches. But there's definitely, like I said, with those reports running behind, particularly for me, I have 57,000 parcels. When I say it takes me hours to run reports, and this will save me a lot of time, and also my employees' time, because when I'm running something, they are come into my office and say, Stacey, are you running a long report? I'm like, yeah, sorry. Because it literally will take.
So it pulls on the system?
Yeah, it pulls on the system. It could literally take them a good minute to even change to a different parcel. So this will speed up everybody's work time within the network.
So the cyber, we had a cyber attack, and so we don't have cyber insurance. Is this system, so will this make us more appealing to be able to obtain insurance?
I would
Or
think
is it
so.
recommended by the insurance companies?
It's something that, after the cyber attack, we have moved some applications to the cloud, like the police applications have been moved to the cloud because it's more secure. We
Okay.
did that last year, and this is going to make it for all the other main applications will be moved to the cloud because it's going to be safer.
Okay, and so, well, I mean, if the system, that's old. That's
That-
like,
That's
that's almost like floppy disk old, the way it was running
You're
before.
100% right about that.
Yeah.
And the setup for the system, which was done, I don't know, 10, 15 years back, some of the decisions made back then are haunting us today. We'll be able to correct those problems, which will make our system much more efficient.
Okay, and so, Stacy, real quick, so when you say when you're running reports, will it lessen the amount of people? Or like, when you're doing reports, did you have to separate or will it reduce the number of people having to run the reports? Or, I mean, what is the savings?
Time.
Time?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll be able to still work.
Not monetary?
Not monetary, no. We'll be able to, we'll get more work done. There
Okay.
won't be that lag.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll be able to process more work done, and faster.
Why didn't this, I mean, with the system being that old, why wasn't ever,
Well, what has happened, BSNA is expanding, and they partnered with a new company that's coming in to help them grow. So with this company coming in, they were able to help them expand. So it's kind of like, ever seen like Shark Tank, when they go in and have that bigger company come in to take them to where they need to go next? So that's what it is.
that's a
And we've
good
been talking
analogy.
internally,
yeah.
the program's been available for maybe 3 years, and we've been talking probably 2.5 years about, because we knew at some point we were going to have to make the change.
So the yearly updates, I mean, the yearly fee, does that include their updates? Because they're gonna be
Yes.
updating.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what's that total, Jeff? 342? Two? Yeah, okay. And so, okay.
And probably more than likely, the cost will go up as it gets out there too.
I was gonna mention that. It's in there, I think it's in the contract part of it, but it's a yearly increase of 5% or CPI, whichever is greater.
Okay.
They go off the CPI or 5%, so there is a yearly increase.
Anyone else? Anyone else in the first round? Anyone else, anyone in the second round? Go ahead.
So, I can't remember, somebody mentioned credit card fees. Will the credit card fee for the residents change at all? Will it be decreasing, increasing?
I'm not sure about I think the fees are going to be about the same. It's just that it's going to make it a lot easier for staff to track the fees and, not track the fees, but track the payments that people make with credit cards. If people pay online right now, we have a lot of customers that pay online. And it'll make it much more efficient. because
But no offense, Mr. Moore, people don't care if it's more efficient for us. If it's cost them 2 or 3 more %, then that's when we're gonna hear from them.
It's gonna be virtually the same.
Virtually the same or the same?
Good question.
I want to say, I believe talking to Amanda, it's going to be the same.
Yeah, I don't think, I don't think.
Can you find that out before
we can
Monday?
we can find out
Can you
about
find
that,
out for me before Monday?
Right.
And then, do we know any other municipalities as large as ours that are on the cloud system?
No, there is not any yet. We'll be the largest unit to go.
That scares me.
There is one that's 37,000 parcels that is on there. I know that is.
But do they run water and,
Yes.
Our cities like, I believe Saginaw moved on to the cloud.
Have they moved on? I haven't checked with them.
But there are.
I don't like us being the guinea pigs, and then we come to find out that,
I'm comfortable with it, and I wouldn't be moving if I was not comfortable with it. Because I'm very protective of my role.
I get that, but no offense to you, we've heard that from every CFO, or, I know that you haven't changed since we've been here. I think Mr. Moore has been our 3rd or 4th CFO that have led us down astray many a times because they said they were comfortable with it. So, no offense, but it scares me a little bit that we are going to go into a system that we're going to be the largest and potentially the guinea pigs, and the residents and potentially your staff is going to feel the wrath of this if it isn't good.
I'll get you a list of some of the larger customers that have changed over. We can get that by Monday.
Can you get that to me as soon as possible? Because I
Yes.
will seriously call them.
No, yeah, we can do that.
Because this system and the way people pay their bills and look at stuff online with PSA, like, a lot of people use that in the community to pay their water bill,
Oh,
pay
yeah.
their tax bill, or,
But the problem with that, we are one of the largest communities within the state, so it's hard to get somebody comparable to us.
well, we're not one of the largest. I mean,
We are.
we're in the top 10, but Grand Rapids is bigger, and there's a lot of them that are this,
There's
so.
very few larger than us.
Yeah, well, let me get you the list, and I can also get you a list of communities outside the state of Michigan.
And credit card fees as well, please.
Thank you. Anyone else in the second round? Anyone else in the second
Madam
round?
Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I do want to say you are correct. I believe Flint is the 7th largest city in the state of Michigan. And we have a lot of cities, villages, townships, and a lot more smaller. Like even in Genesee County, the reason we're the county seat is because the closest municipality to us has about 35,000 people less than us. So you are correct with your numbers of how it would be harder, especially around us, to find someone comparable as far as population. I know that I've heard before about BSNA and how if certain people are running reports, that it does completely knock out virtually the rest of your workday or any time that you have to do it, and how sometimes it has to be handled after hours. So I am excited to see that we'll have something that you will be able to continue being productive in your roles and do other things while this runs in the background. I yield, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Anyone else in the second round? I'm going to take a few seconds just to talk about the licensing issue. As we all know, here on council, we have a major problem keeping track of businesses who are licensed to do business within the city. Mr. Moore, can you address how this will improve that?
This will allow us to keep track of them on a computer system, allow us to, it'll have a complete database for every business that we have in the city. It'll interface with the other applications we have so we can make sure that there's a way that we can check and double check and find out where the businesses are located. It'll make it much, much easier for the department to send letters, to send in bills, to interface with all the businesses in the city. Right now, we just don't have a good way of doing that.
Thank you very much.
It's very difficult for us to do a lot of that.
Thank you very much. Okay, it's now time for the vote to send 260000 to council.
Mr. Alamin?
Yes.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no. That will be sent to council. We now have a special order as requested by Councilwoman Burns regarding an update on the city's ACO projects. Ms. Burns, I'll go ahead and let you start.
Thank you. You, Madam Chair, to look.
Excuse me, we're going to do this at 15 minutes with additional time
Got
if
it.
necessary.
Through you, Madam Chair, to Scott Dungy and Mr. Edwards. Yeah. My reasoning for asking, requesting the special order, I wanted to know if we have got, one, any loans that we have that are for projects coming out, how are we going to fund the loans? Where are we at with the spreadsheets on our projects and what percentage? If to give an update, because, so we will know like where we're at and possible fund. I believe we've got something coming in for, I think it's 3 revolving loans. And I thought I had requested to have, we have a new, is he interim DPW? Marquand Sohaladi?
No, Mr. Marwan is permanent.
Oh, okay. So is he our DPW director?
He's a deputy.
He's deputy. So does he come to meetings?
He can come to a meeting. I just learned, since I've been sitting in this meeting, that yes, I asked Mr. Dungy here to come to this meeting. I didn't know you wanted him and Yolanda to attend. So.
Yeah, I wanted him here because if, I know, Mr. Edwards, that you are in the absence of the DPW director, you are in that acting role, but the interim should be here to answer these questions. And I did want him to be here because I don't even know who he is or what he looked like. I mean, I don't, and I would like to, put eyes on him because these are some important projects. And I don't know, do we have an updated spreadsheet?
Yes, I do. I can get you that tomorrow. I'll get that to Mr. Edwards, and he'll get that to you tomorrow.
Could you get that for me tomorrow? I don't know if we can, I would like to, I've got questions for him, because I'm used to, if we go back to me, it should be the DPW. No offense to both of you, Mr. Dungy, but that's his job. As interim, he is basically leading that department right now. What licensings does he hold?
S4.
How many licenses are required? You hold one too, though, don't you?
Yes, I have a D1,
And Jeanette Best
S4, and a F3.
And Jeanette Best holds,
The top wastewater license.
and she holds wastewater. And he holds a S1?
S4.
S4, okay. I would like for him to come because one thing with our water and our infrastructure, residents have got questions, and I think that we need to be transparent. People have very real trust issues with the water and the infrastructure, and as spring comes and they start working on these streets and they start rattling the pipes, people are going to see some rust in their water again, or sediment. That just seems to happen. And where are we at also on the service line replacements? What percentage are we at? I know I've seen them working.
Yeah, the state, took over that project. So
Yes.
right now, they're organizing themselves. We were in the last 1 percentile of that project. So the state is conferring right now with the vendor, and they're preparing and getting themselves together to gear up in the spring. So,
Right. And so with them finishing up that project, we don't know, the numbers have been off. And have we did any restoration yet?
They were doing some of that, toward the end of that season. Of course, when the season
Right.
ends, they
It
no
have
longer,
to end.
they no longer can do that work.
And so does the state give reports to let us know where we're at in that?
Oh, yeah, we're still continuing. We have a comprehensive meeting. It has been going on every Wednesday morning, and that involves all the state sources, that is Eagle, Treasury, and all the Flint sources, and all the engineering folk, and all the vendors. Everybody's on this call. It's like 20-something people on this call.
So if they're giving you the reports, could it be, could you share those with us, Mr. Edwards, so that we know where they're at? I know it got into a portion of my ward, which the homes are literally over 100 years old. Joliet, those streets over there where they were not, they were like some of the last to be done. And I know people were not, some residents were not turning them back in, and some were. Because I know Michelle Young is here, it took forever to get hers, and she's on the main street, Sunset. And so if we could get a report of like where they're at with restoration and also with service line replacement. And then also, if we can I just want like some transparency. When people ask, I mean, that's just sharing of information that the state has. But I would like and pronounce his last name for me. Is it
Yeah, we just call him Marwan.
Marwan.
It'd be better if he says it to you, but yeah, everybody just refers to him as Marwan.
Okay, because I know he lives in Windsor, Canada. And so, and the question, can he be licensed in the United States with being a Canadian?
He was working right out of Detroit. He'd been
He was working
in
across the
Detroit for
bridge,
years. Yeah, he'd been working in Detroit for years.
Well, he's only 25, so it couldn't be that, 26.
It's a few years.
I mean, yeah, he's young, so let's don't give it that decade or so now. So I would like to meet him, and he has a personal service contract, because he never came through us.
No, he's not an appointee.
He's not
an appointee.
He's not an appointee because he's a deputy.
It was a competitive job.
A competitive
It was
job.
posted in a competitive job. There were like several candidates.
Okay, and so he worked at Detroit for how
Yes.
many? 25, 26 could have been that long.
Well, I'll let him tell you how long.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I would just like to speak with him, just to, I have some questions from him. And if you could share that report, please, with the state where they're at. And then you said you're going to get the new updated one?
Yes, I can have that to Mr. Edwards first thing in the morning.
All right, thank you. I yield the floor.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else who'd like to address this special order? I'll close out the special order and request a motion for adjournment.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I just need to correct something really quickly before we adjourn, if I may.
Sure.
Thank you. I gave out some numbers. I want to make sure I give accurate numbers. So the state of Michigan's population is 10.14 million. We were number 7. We're number 16 now, but I think they have to adjust the fact that more people have moved in. We're still number 16, but I'm going to tell you, 16 out of 1,773, we're still very much top in this city, in this state. So again, state of Michigan population, 10.14 million. Out of city, villages, townships, all of that, we're number 16 out of 1,773, so still very necessary and hard to compare. Thank you.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. It's been moved by this councilman in the 8th ward, supported by the councilwoman in the 7th ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin?
Yes.
Vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
Vote is 9 yes, 0 no. We are adjourned at 6 o'clock. Bureau's out there still collecting data. No. Whoops. Thank you for your popcorn. Thank you. This is my downfall. Did you make it? You have one of the popcorn poppers? I got rid of mine. So what are they protesting anyways? What these people protest? Nobody pays anything.
Oh, I didn't see. Thank you so much. If all council members could return to their seats so that we can start the next meeting. If all council members could return to their seats so that we can start our legislative committee meeting. The time is now 6:06 p.m. on Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. I hereby call this legislative committee meeting to order. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alamin?
Present.
Dr. Lewis?
Present.
Ms. Johnson is not in. Ms. Priestley? Present. Ms. Winfrey Carter is not in. Ms. Burns?
Present.
Ms. Mashat?
Present.
Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett?
Present.
You have 7 members present.
We have 7 members present. It is now time for the reading of the disorderly persons city code subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of Flint City Code Section 31-10, disorderly conduct, assault and battery, and disorderly persons, and will be subject to arrest for a misdemeanor. Any person who prevents the peaceful and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given 1 warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. Are there any requests for agenda changes and/or additions at this time? Seeing as how there are no requests for agenda changes and/or additions, it is now time for public comment. Members of the public who wish to address the city council or its committees must register before the meeting begins. A box was placed at the entrance of the city council chambers for collection of registrations. No additional speakers or slips will be accepted after the meeting begins. Members of the public shall have no more than 3 minutes per speaker during public comment, with only 1 speaking opportunity per speaker. Before we call on the first speaker, I would like to acknowledge that all 9 members are in their chair, Madam Clerk. And first public speaker.
First speaker is James Moore.
James Moore, Second Ward. I'm missing Ariel. I'm used to him being first. I just hope that this year we can get some things done. We can be positive, give some hope. You know, we can, we don't do nothing else. We can at least clean up the city a little bit and do something about them potholes, maybe. But everybody know what's up. Let's just go to work and get it done. Happy New Year's.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
Next speaker is Sarah Houston.
Sarah Houston, 6th Ward. I just wanted to thank Councilwoman Burns, Carter, Priestley, Johnson, all you guys for acknowledging me and realizing that the need is here. I'm glad to know that I have your support. I'm disappointed that every time I address Ms. Johnson, she conveniently leaves when it's time for public comment. I would just like to know that you hear and actually care what is being said. That would be really, really nice, and I think that the residents would probably like to hear it too. I also wonder if you know, or if you're aware that you may be cloned online, because I have seen some horrible statements coming from Facebook that's supposed to be you, but I cannot believe that it is you. So you might want to check into that, just a FYI, seriously, so you know. Check that out. I'm trying to be nice. But anyway, I am looking forward to seeing change being made here and access being open and the deaf community feeling like they belong, and hopefully sooner rather than later. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is M. Young.
Good evening again. I'm going to say some things that I want to make sure people take their feelings out of it, and we're just going to state some facts. I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm not calling anyone in particular out. But Madam Chair, we have a systematic problem that a lot of the citizens are talking about in the city of Flint about elections, residency, and we need improvement. Some of the things are things that would be in the city clerk's office that needs to be addressed. So number one, the city portal. Previously, we have a history of the city portal information being wrong, telling you you were in the wrong ward. I would like to have some accountability and know that 2026 election, that problem will be closed and we can be proud of our city portal and how our election is handled. That is effective and truthful. Another thing that happened during the last election, maybe not the last one, but the last few, there were things that were sent out that shouldn't have been sent to everyone. And I'm not sure if that has to do with the portal information being wrong, but that has to also be corrected. We deserve professionalism from this group. I think the people in the city of Flint get paid nice amount of money to get this job done, and they have a nice amount of people that work for them in the city. This should not happen again. We should be able to be the #1 city because we've had the problem. We've had the time to get it fixed. We just need somebody to be accountable for fixing it. Now, I'm going to also address the residency problem. A fact is, we have seen some judgmental paperwork signed with an address that is not in the ward that they represent. That is a fact. It's not a feeling, it's a fact. And it's been multiple forms signed by a judge. I would say that's legal. I would ask one of you to ask the attorney if it's legal. We have to address that. It's a stain. Do any of you want to be known as someone that is not addressing the issue? That you are not brave enough to speak up on your residents' behalf? Be brave, speak up. Hold people accountable. Do the work, please.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The final speaker for this meeting is Rosalind Salbenblatt.
My name is Rosalind Salbenblatt, and I want to apologize for reading this at the wrong meeting first. Thank you for allowing me to address the committee. I'm here to speak on the proposed ordinance 260006. I'm a member of the Bridge Brigade that's been protesting on Beach Street I-69 overpass every Friday since February 28th of 25. We're there for about 2 hours, leave the area cleaner than we found it, and have had good response from the public for being out there. We reviewed MCL section 257.615 and are in compliance with all restrictions in that statute. We do not do anything that resembles any emergency vehicles or presents a distraction to the drivers on the expressway. No flashing lights or reflective materials. We do not promote or denigrate any political candidates. We bring awareness of current events that are happening. Most city police and county sheriffs that drive by give us a thumbs up for expressing our First Amendment right of freedom to speech. The DOT has stopped a few times and told us we couldn't have things on the bridge. We informed them we are within our rights under statute MCL section 257.615, and they have left. The MDOT attempted an administrative rule change. During the open comment period, they got thousands of negative replies due to freedom of speech on public property. There's nothing moving forward with that at this time that I was able to find out when I searched yesterday. I believe there's also legislation pending at the state level that I've been told won't go through. This ordinance proposal and the other attempts that have been made are nothing more than a blatant attempt to shut down our right to freedom of speech and peaceful protesting. We, the people, say no to those attempts. We are guaranteed to the right of freedom of speech by our national constitution. Shutting down our right to use public property for freedom of speech is the same as denying us the right of freedom of speech. Do not take away our constitutional rights. And I spoke with the city clerk between the two meetings, and she said that your intention was for candidate political signs. And if that's the case and you want to address that in the amendment, or the ordinance, so that it specifies political candidates, then I don't see any big problems with that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, you said that was the final public speaker?
That's correct.
All right, seeing as how that was the final public speaker, public comment is now closed. It is time to move on to council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers. Only after all public speakers have spoken, an individual council member's response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Is there anyone who would like to speak during council response? Seeing as how there's no one who would like to speak during council response, I will go ahead and take some very brief time. I'm going to address the city portal concern. What we will do is we will get with the city clerk, have a discussion with her about that and how that works, because I'm not completely sure if she's even in charge of the information that goes on there. I'm not sure how that works, but I will get with her, and we should be able to have some sort of answer for you by Monday for special affairs of who's even in charge of the city portal. And then as far as Reso 26006, I know you said that, Ms. Rosalind, I know you said that you spoke with the city clerk just now, but I think that my colleagues and I all want to separate it just so we can get some clarification on it. We do thank you for coming to speak to us about this and drawing this to our attention. That closes out my portion of council comment. It is now time for consent agenda. I will entertain a motion from the body. There's complete separation, so we will move on. A complete separation ordered by the councilman in the 8th Ward. I will now move on to the first resolution, which is 250437-T, which is the Code Amendment Ordinance Chapter 50 Zoning Map. What is the pleasure of the body?
Send to council.
There has been a motion to send to council by the councilman in the 8th Ward. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward. Is there discussion?
Yeah.
Councilwoman, okay, councilman in the 8th Ward.
Is there anybody from the administration to speak on this?
I'm sorry, we are in legislative right now, and we are on resolution 250437. Is there someone from the administration who can speak to this resolution? All right, we do not have anyone who can, who can speak to this resolution. Councilman, you have the floor.
Motion to keep in legislative.
There is a motion to have this remain in legislative until someone from the administration who can speak to this can join us. Is there support? Supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alamin? Yes. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no. Resolution 250437-T, which is the Code Amendment Ordinance Chapter 50 Zoning Map, will stay in Legislative Committee until someone from the administration can join us. Moving on to Resolution 260001, which is the Code Amendment Ordinance Chapter 46 Wastewater Disposal Regulations. Is there what is the pleasure of the body?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
Send to council.
There has been a motion to send to council. Is there support? Supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward. Is there discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilman in the 8th Ward, you have the floor.
Is there someone from the administration to speak on this?
Is there someone from the administration who can speak on this? I believe Ms. Best will be joining us. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair,
Madam Clerk.
as Ms. Best walks up, I just want to let the public know that we normally have copies of the ordinances available in the back. This one is 60 pages long, so if anyone does want a copy, I have several available up here. We didn't put them in the back just because the entire ordinance was 60 pages.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Council, you can start a sign. Councilman, you have the floor.
Ms. Bess, I'm going to be honest with you, I have not read this whole entire book. Can you give us a few highlights and why this is before us? Why does this ordinance need to be adopted?
The sewer use ordinance is a part of the city ordinances currently, and we were required by Eagle to amend it and update it so that we were in compliance with the state law. So it's a requirement of our NPDES permit, and we needed to add the PFAS. We need to add a limit, a local limit in our ordinance, because they just put a limit in our NPDES permit.
Are we testing PFAS in wastewater?
Yes.
Okay.
We actually have a limit, and what they gave us is the drinking water standard for our discharge limit, which doesn't give us a lot of wiggle room, but we generally meet it. I think we've exceeded it once, and that's 12 parts per trillion in water. We needed to also modify the limits for available cyanide and BTEX, which is benzene, ethylbenzene, toluene, and xylene. And those are based on Eagle's mandated limits, which were established in 2024. Eagle recommended we change the limits for hexane extractable materials, which are actually fats, oil, and greases, also known as FOG. And our limit was originally 500 milligrams per liter of parts per million, and we reduced that to 100 parts per million. This is what clogs up the sewers. So we were glad to do that.
Is there anything in here that would, is there anything, how do I word this? Is there anything in here that the resident, that will change anything with the residents on their day-to-day? As far as any, obviously this is wastewater, so they were not really considering drinking water or anything like that. So is there anything in this, or is this just purely a reporting ordinance?
These are requirements that limit things you can put down your sewer, what you can flush down the toilet, what you can put down your sink, that kind of thing, anything that would be introduced into sanitary sewer. So this also applies to industrial users and commercial users. In this fats, oil, and greases, the HEM, which is...
So can I still dump my grease down the drain?
No.
No? Okay.
If it's over 100 parts per million, no. We would come and write you a violation and tell you to quit it, because that's what plugs up the sewers and goofs up the pump stations and all the other stuff. We're working really hard to try to corral that. We've started a intensive program to go back to the restaurants and say, look, you need to take care of this. So.
Do we have, other than, like, if something gets flushed down the drain from a restaurant or whatever, everything else, and it makes it all the way to the wastewater treatment, we have no way of tracking that per se, do we? How do we know that a restaurant is not in compliance unless there's a direct impact near that restaurant that they could possibly train?
Well, what we do with our fats, oil, and greases program, our FOG program, every restaurant is required to have a grease trap.
Right.
separate the grease from, sanitary.
But do we?
We check those.
Do we check those? Do we?
Yes.
They have to have annual reports that they submit? Or we only do it during inspections?
We've just enhanced this program. We used to have, I think, a 5-year rotating program, and we try to check all of the restaurants in a 5-year period. And there's probably a couple hundred of restaurants or food processing places. So what we've just done is put together a program that we're going to check all of the restaurants, make sure that, if they don't have any grease or fatty discharges, then we don't have to worry about a grease trap. But if they do have cooking grease or even washing grease off of dishes, they have to have a grease trap. We would check their grease trap, we would check their records. They're going to have records, or they're required to have records that show that they're having their grease traps cleaned and that they're taken care of.
Okay.
And we go down the sewer line to find if it's actually in the sewer downstream of their facility.
Thank you. My time has expired. Oh, okay.
Were you done? I guess the only other thing we did was, there were several just language requirements or suggestions that Eagle made that we corrected and just clarified some of the language that was just outdated and maybe unclear, so that if people are actually reading the sewer use ordinance, they understand what they cannot put down the sewer.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in the first round of discussion?
Yes, Madam
Oh.
Chair.
I'm sorry, Councilwoman Burns.
Oh.
Did you want the floor still?
No.
Okay, Councilwoman in the fifth ward, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a question. So you said that this ordinance is being proposed to comply with state regulations?
No, we're just updating it to be sure that.
To make sure that it
That it's
complies?
in compliance with that.
Okay.
It's been in existence for a long, long time. It regulates what anyone can put in the sewer, the sanitary sewer, because the intent is to maintain the wastewater treatment plant so that we can treat sanitary sewage and not something else that's going to impact
Right.
the treatment process, or people, if you put P-Tex down the drain, it could be, like dry cleaning fluid or something like that, which could be harmful to people in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
But the sewer use ordinance has been in place for a long, long time, and I'm not sure exactly when it was originally adopted, but many years ago.
But it definitely needs to be updated.
Right.
And to make sure that it does comply with state regulations and federal regulations. Okay. I just wanted to, I was thinking if they said something and you guys were on a deadline, I was wondering how long do we have to update this and all of that. But since we're just being proactive.
Well, they put a limit in our permit for PFAS, and that was enacted, it started September 1st. So we
Okay.
needed to make sure nobody was sending us PFAS so that we could enforce limits on them so that we wouldn't have to, because it's not something we can treat for.
Okay.
It's not something.
So we
that's-
don't have do we have a deadline?
They would have liked it before the NPDES permit limit was in place, which was September 1st.
Okay. So why are we just now getting this?
There's a process that we had to go through. We had to, first we had to review our entire, and you see it's over 60 pages. We had to review the entire thing. We had to make the updates. It had to be approved by Eagle, and we went back and forth with them, I would guess at least 6 months. And then we had to send it to our legal department to make sure it was okay with them, and they
Okay.
didn't see any problems, and that took a couple months. So it's been a long process.
Okay.
Just to get through it. What else did we do? Oh, we had to, and I think we talked about it about a month ago, a little bit more than a month ago, that we had to public notice it, and it had to be public noticed in conjunction with Eagle, so we had to coordinate that.
Okay.
And then there was a 30-day comment period, in which time we got no comments from the public because it was advertised, on the website, and the state and the city. We got no comments. After that, we brought it back here.
Okay.
We're here now. And what we're hoping is to get the first reading of this modified sewer use ordinance to council for its first reading next council meeting.
Okay. All right. I yield, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in the first round of discussion?
Madam Chair,
Councilman in the 9th Ward, you have the floor.
thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
When you were, when the councilman in the 8th Ward sort of threw out I can pour my grease down the drain, in your response, it sort of made me to think. We've been getting, and actually one was coming in the mail today, these flyers from the city around recycling.
Mm-hmm.
Is a similar piece available just to remind and/or inform some residents about, what types of things they should not be putting down drains, just as somewhat of a public service or an announcement of such?
We've been trying to put together some flyers to teach people what not to put down the drain and what the options are to avoid that.
Okay. I'm just,
And
like
I've got
say,
a flyer,
just
if you want one, I'll send it to you.
combination of the topic and then in today's mail, even getting a piece
Mhm.
from the city on the recycling just makes me to want to ask the question.
Yeah, we've been working on that. We don't have anything formally out there, but we've been doing a lot of public education in relation to stormwater and wastewater. So we've been meeting with groups of children. We've attended a lot of, public events and handing out flyers and talking to people about it. We've got some little cards, we've got some flyers, things like that. And then we try to make ourselves available to answer questions if anybody has any.
Okay, thank you. I yield.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like the floor in the first round of discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward, you have the floor.
Thank you. Hi, Ms. Bass.
Hi there.
Quick question. One, and maybe, what is that big flame that you see over? It's huge.
You'll hear a whole lot more about that. What we do is we digest the solid waste that comes from treating the wastewater, and then we add some organic materials to it, to some substrates that we actually get paid to take, and add those to our digesters. And digesters work like your gut does, and it breaks down organic material. And if you've ever eaten bean soup, you know what happens. It creates methane gas. And the methane gas we capture in a partnership with BioWorks. We run engines that then run generators. They generate electricity, which we use to power.
So we're
a
still
portion of the
selling our
plant.
solid waste?
So it's disposal of solid waste. What it does is reduces the volume of solid waste that we have to dispose of. So it
Okay.
breaks it down. And the flame is the excess methane gas.
It's a big flame.
And we have plans for it.
Okay. My other question is your department properly staffed?
Yes.
Okay, because, so what's generally the holdup with getting everything to us past the deadlines? Is it just, where is it getting bottlenecked at?
I think this is the only thing that was slowed down. Like I said, it was a long process just to get it done. We had to go through, if you've ever tried to get anything done with the state.
I know
They
from
tell
in
you-
City Hall, from floor to floor, it can take
Yeah.
you a minute.
They tell you, you have to submit something by a particular date, and then you don't hear from them for 6 months. And that's not unusual. Sometimes it's longer than that.
Yeah.
So it just took a long time to, iron it all out and make sure everybody was happy with the language.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes, I'm sorry, were you yielding?
Oh, I yield.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in the first round of discussion? Seeing as how there is no one else who wishes to speak in the first round of discussion, we'll move to the second round of discussion. Is there anyone who wishes to speak in the second round of discussion? Seeing as how there's no one who wishes to speak in the second round of discussion, this is the roll call vote to send Resolution 260001, Code Amendment Ordinance Chapter 46, Wastewater Disposal Regulations to Council. Thank you, Ms. Best. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin?
Yes.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no. Resolution 260001, Code Amendment Ordinance Chapter 46, Wastewater Disposal Regulations will move to council. Our last agenda item for this meeting, 260006, Code Amendment Ordinance Chapter 50, Zoning Sign Regulations, Political Signs. What is the pleasure of the body?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
send to council.
There is a motion to send to council by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward. Is there support? Supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward. Is there discussion?
Madam Chair?
Councilman in the 8th Ward, you have the floor.
I was told by the city attorney that we were supposed to pull this. Is that through you to the city attorney? Is this not ready for adoption?
We had two primary concerns with this proposed ordinance. Number one, the proposed section number is incorrect according to our current code of ordinances. And two, it's our understanding that this proposed ordinance has not been through the Planning Commission process. Any amendments to the zoning chapter of the Code of Ordinances need to go through the Planning Commission.
Okay.
So you're postponing?
Thank you.
Request for information.
What is your request?
Who put this forward without it being vetted?
I do believe I will defer to the clerk.
I'm on, I don't know whose time I'm on.
It's Dennis's time, but it's fine.
You can-
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I did put this on the agenda, and I was aware that it would probably have to go before the planning commission as well, but I wanted to make sure that it gets out there because I want this to be approved in time for the upcoming elections. Because this is the language that was in the zoning code prior, before the whole chapter 50 was amended, and it was removed. And so this is pretty much the identical language that was in there before with concern for political signs, campaign signs.
And this is just strictly addressing campaign signs.
Correct.
Councilman,
Can I
do you
get-
have a motion?
Can I get my 4:30 back?
Sure. Can we put this time back to 4:30? I thought you were just gonna make a motion.
Well, I just want to make sure
I mean, we gotta pull it anyway.
yeah, I understand that. And if this is going to come before us, then I want to make sure that it's clear. Political signs needs to be defined. I mean, what defines a political sign? If I have a sign in my yard that says Black Lives Matter, am I going to get fined? Because that's a political sign. This doesn't say campaign or candidate signs. I want to make sure that all of that is clear, that we're not stifling people's First Amendment rights. And I disagree. I don't even know if I'll support it then, because you're not going to come onto my property and tell me that I can't have a sign on my own property. And that's what this says. This says that residential and anything else, that I can't have it. And if it's my property, I'll paint my damn garage door that says RL for council. I don't care. Because you're not going to stifle a First Amendment. And that right there, saying that I can't have a sign, or I have to take a sign down, especially not being generally specific of what that political sign means, I'll own this damn city, because I'll sue the shit out of it. Because you're not going to, and I hope that the city attorney and the city attorney, whoever works with the planning commission, knows that there is First Amendment implications for this. So this is a very tricky and I'm going to say hot topic of stifling First Amendment speech, and there was no way I was ever going to support what's on the agenda tonight. But it has to be hella defined and run through the gamut of political correctness or because there's other jurisdictions or other municipalities that have been sued to the gill because they've done this. So just because it was on the previous one doesn't mean that it should be again adopted without looking at it again, because obviously the old one was taken away and the new one adopted because it was so out of date. So I hope that the city attorneys do the due diligence, because I don't want to adopt something just to turn around and have to fight it in court for the next 6 years and put us in harm's way financially because we want somebody to take down their sign. And also, I don't want something on here that's going to be cherry-picked and only enforced selectively. Like if the mayor has a sign on an abandoned building that I believe is still there to this day from the last one, we all know that he's not going to be fined. So I'm not going to adopt something that's going to be cherry-picked, enforced, and it's going to stifle anybody else's political ambitions or their message or anything else. So I'm just putting it out there. Whenever this comes before us, it better be T's crossed, I's dotted, and so on and so forth, because not going to support it any form or fashion the way it is worded today. Thank you.
Before you, okay, I was going to say, before y'all make a motion, I would like to speak. Go ahead.
And Dennis, I agree with everything that you said, because I don't even, I'm not in agreement with this, and for many reasons, but when it's coming before us right before a big political season. And so if we're saying we're going to do, and what is defined as being political? Because there are telephone poles which have red signs on it that has Mayor Neely's name on them. Is that political? They're on there in neighborhoods. They're in red, and they're attached to the poles. May as well throw trash cans. His name is on everybody's trash can. That's advertised. That's political. And so his name should not be on there, actually. It should not be on there. And they stated that when they told him that you are not supposed to be, you're not supposed to have your name on city property. He didn't purchase those cans. He did not. And so they should not be on there. And so to get this on here, people, it is freedom of speech. He has violated every single time. Matter of fact, we have people with city property with their clothing has his name on it, which is ludicrous to me. His name shouldn't be on that either. And so I'm not, this sign, and I'm agreeing with you, Dennis, probably in a nicer way, but you were very firm with it. And I do want to know about, we already have signs with his face or his name on them, which is city property. So, which I am going to send to you, I will be sending a referral to Attorney Cups, because that needs to be looked at with the trash cans, because the mayor, Tiffany Henyard, that was a problem. And they charged her to say she could not use public funds to put her name everywhere in Dalton as the super mayor. And she did. So I am with you, and I get this is a campaign sign, but what is a political sign? When I'm looking at campaign signs already up, and then if it's gonna be on your personal property, people had problems with, the size of signs and where they were located, and it becomes a fight for a sign. This is going to be a very charged political season, without a doubt, coming up. And limiting what the size, or there was questions before with the billboard that went up. It may not have been tasteful, but they said it was political, but it didn't have anything political, or it was more suggestive. So I think it needs to be clearly defined. Does it have to say vote for? How do we, and it's not just even vote, because when you talk about other issues which are political, that area is gray. So I'm not supporting this. You know, people deserve freedom of speech, and we know that parts of our government say anything that they want to, and they don't care, even if it's offensive. So I'm not supporting this. Thank you, and I yield the floor.
Is there anyone else in the first round of discussion? Seeing as how there's no
Madam
one else
Chair.
in the first round of discussion.
Madam Chair.
Well, I'll get you in a second. Seeing as how there's nobody else in the first round of discussion, I do want to take just a little bit of time.
Madam Chair.
Removal of signs. Yes, ma'am.
I know I kept saying Madam Chair.
No, but I was
I'll let-
already in the middle of my sentence of saying, seeing as how there was no one else, so I will get you
Understood.
top of the first round. Top of the second. I hear what both of you are saying, but this actually kind of addresses something you said in there about there are signs still affixed to buildings that should have been taken down. This actually addresses removal of signs. The person whose name appears on the political temporary sign shall be responsible for the removal of such sign or notice, and the same shall be removed from the property, private or public, within 20 days after the election for which the political temporary sign was installed. So that does actually answer what you both were saying as far as why are the signs still affixed to the building, regardless of how you feel about whomever's name is on it. This addresses everyone having the responsibility that within 20 days of the election, they have to take it down. Because that does appear to be 365 days of advertisement for that person. And so this addresses that, to remove that. I think that there was something else that you all addressed that was in here too that this does address, but this clearly says the earliest time that political temporary signs may be installed is 40 days before an election, and political temporary signs shall be removed within 20 days after an election. So this speaks to temporary political campaign signs, which is the very thing that both of you are saying you guys see around and you're having issues with. So it does address that, and this is to remove them, saying that they can only be up as early as 40 days before and have to be removed within the 20 days. So that's what that's addressing when it's talking about signs. And Madam Clerk, I know that you wanted to speak. Go ahead. You can pause that. Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
As I mentioned to Ms. Salvin-Blatt, because she did have concerns about the nature of this, and I did speak to the Attorney's Office, and I did want it to be moved to council for discussion, and would then ask the council to postpone indefinitely so that we could address some of those concerns to make sure that it is deliberate in what it is. This is addressing political signs for candidates. We can put the language in there so that it's very specific to certified candidates, and this is what we're talking about for campaigning, because no one should be campaigning before they are certified by the clerk's office as a candidate for any election. So this, we can put in very specific language. This does not address what Mr. Pfeiffer was talking about, where you say any kind of political statement. This is not what this would affect. This is only so-and-so for mayor, so-and-so for council. It's very specific that you're running for a particular office, for governor, whatever it is. And I understand too that you said that, the language that was there before doesn't make it, that it should go back, but there were some very specific things that have come up in elections since this language was removed from the zoning code. And that language was removed without any discussion with the clerk at the time. So when we came up with elections, again, people were saying, why are signs allowed on city property? Because they took out all the language that addresses city property. So you can put signs right now outside of City Hall. And to Ms. Burns' concerns about Mr. Neely, or Mayor Neely's name and certain things, there are other avenues in the code that address those. Like, for example, the sign that's up and it's been up forever. There is other current language in the code where that can be enforced, but this would specifically address that so that, yes, if it says something political, it needs to be removed. That language was taken out that speaks specifically to political signs, campaigns, however you want to call it. We can make it so that it's very specific to what the intent of this is, which is, because we are in an election time, this is to do with people running for office, not just local office, but state, anything that, for the primary election, you have so long to have it up, and after, if you are not a candidate for the general election, then you have so long to remove your signs. These are issues that came up constantly. And when I was asked why I wasn't enforcing it, it's because that language had been removed. There was no enforcement mechanism. So again, working with the city attorney's office to develop language that's very specific to just signage that has to do with running for a political office, and then taking it to the planning commission for their approval so that we can bring it back to the council, so that there's no question about the intention. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I yield my time. We are now on to the second round of discussion. Councilwoman in the second ward, you have the floor.
So through you, Madam Chair, to the clerk. So if there is a violation, what happens?
So if there's a violation, then if someone, for example, reaches out to the clerk's office, because it's really up to the individual or the person working on behalf of the individual to remove signage. However, if it's brought to our attention, then we can send code enforcement out because it is a code violation and we can remove that signage. What usually happens, what happened in the past is we just take it and we put it behind City Hall so that people can come and pick it up. But we have to know what's going on, and then we can have code enforcement follow up with that.
Okay, so there is no quote-unquote punishment for leaving your signs out? So if I leave my signs out, code enforcement will come and get it and the problem is solved?
So if you leave your signs out, for example, 20 days after an election, after the primary, if you are not moving on to the general election and you have 20 days, yes, we would just remove all the signs. There's really no fees or anything like that. It's just we would reach out and ask that you remove your signage because you're no longer a candidate. This ordinance also allows for someone who is in the primary to continue to leave their signs up through the general election. But yes, after an election is over, 20 days, you have to remove it. There is no mechanism for fees or fines or anything like that. It's just, we would just go and move the signage and put it behind City Hall.
Okay, so there's no penalty, that's what I hear. What happened is, if we leave our sign out, you all will go get it and it's done.
Correct, that's on public property, not private property. It's public property. But if someone complains, you know, you can't mess with someone else's property. You can't go onto someone's private property and you know the election's over and remove a sign from somebody else's house. It's not like that. If we have a complaint, we really don't always have a means to, you know, contact the individual. What we would do is contact the person whose name is on that.
So I'm sorry, 1 second. Can we keep the time going because they are having a back and forth? Thank you.
We would contact the candidate and ask them to remove their campaign materials from a particular address or something like that. Because they would have had to ask permission in the first place, or it's a supporter of them, but we would just hope that, you know, with the same, how they went out and asked people to put their signs up, that they would then, if they are no longer a part of that candidacy, that they would go ahead and remove their signage in the same way.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that I'm clear and that I heard you correctly. So if an election's over and if I to leave my sign up, I will not be penalized. You all will go and get it, and that's that. So I don't really have to worry about cleaning up my sign because you would do it if I don't get it, all right?
Only if it's on city property. But of course, we're not going to say, oh, you got hundreds of signs out, and you're just going to say, well, we'll just let the city get them. Because again, we can put them behind City Hall, but we could also just dispose of them. Honestly, we're being reasonable and fair to say, here's your property, you can come and get it. But we're talking about 1 or 2 signs is usually the issue. I would hope that a candidate wouldn't just say, you know what, I didn't make it, I'm just gonna leave all my stuff behind. We're talking about on city property, And again, if this passes, it shouldn't even be on city property. But we would hope that people would remove their own signs without having to be told, but that person is going to be responsible. We can also add some kind of, I don't know if that's even possible, but again, working with the legal department to see if there could be some kind of penalty involved for not removing signage well beyond the 20 days after an election, or if it's deliberate and it's like numerous signs. That's something that we could discuss with the legal department.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in the second round of discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilman in the 8th Ward.
Madam Chair, through you to the clerk. Madam Clerk, I'm confused. So you're saying that even if this passes, we're going to allow somebody to put a sign on city property and you're not going to touch it for 20 days? It shouldn't be there.
No, I'm sorry, misspoke. If it's on city property, we're going to remove it. If this passes, it can't be on city property. We would immediately remove that if we know about it.
So what signs are you going to remove after 20 days if you're not going to go onto private property?
That would be, we would ask the candidate to remove their signs off of private property. We're not going to remove the signs.
But if there's no penalty, then we're just going to say you have to remove your signs, but if you don't,
We
okay.
would reach out to the candidate. What we've been doing now is we've been kind of changing everything that we're doing as far as candidacy goes. So right now, people are picking up packets with their petitions. When they return them and they fill out their affidavit of identity, and technically that's the start of becoming a candidate, we would have information that says this is something that's expected of you so that you understand and know. But like I said, beyond that, without working with the legal department to say if that's even something that we can do, enforce some kind of penalty, I don't know what it would be. I don't know what stipulations. Is it one sign? Is it 20? 100 signs? Who's going to enforce it? How are we going to know? So yeah, that's something we'd have to look at with legal to even see if there's something that could be done.
And
But
I don't want to put an undue burden on, our departments to go out and pick up signs. Like, to me, there's way better things that they can be doing in their time than picking up a 21-day-old sign. To me, that doesn't make sense, but I'll yield until the revised edition comes out. If there's no other person, then I'll make the motion.
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, I make the motion to postpone indefinitely.
There is a motion to postpone indefinitely. Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved and properly supported by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward. This is the roll call vote to postpone indefinitely, Resolution 260006 Code Amendment Ordinance Chapter 50 Zoning Sign Regulation Political Signs. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Shad?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin?
Yes.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no. That resolution has been postponed indefinitely.
Motion to adjourn.
There's a motion to adjourn by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward, supported by the councilman in the 8th Ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin? Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
Vote is 9 yes, 0 no. The time is 7 p.m., Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. This Governmental Operations Committee meeting is now adjourned. I'm sorry, legislative, thank you, is now adjourned. I don't think we have anybody that needs to fill out speaker slips, so we can move right into, oh, go ahead, yep. You can bring it, I don't know if they need to get the box. She's gonna go get it? Okay. Is there anyone else? All right, the time is now 7 PM on Wednesday, January 7th, 5 PM. I hereby call this Governmental Operations Committee meeting to order. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis?
Yeah, present.
Ms. Johnson?
Present.
Ms. Priestley?
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Present.
Ms. Burns?
Present.
Ms. Mashat?
Present.
Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett?
Present.
You have 8 members present.
We have 8 members present. It's now time for the reading of the disorderly persons city code subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of Flint City Code Section 31-10, disorderly conduct, assault and battery, and disorderly persons, and will be subject to arrest for misdemeanor. Any person who presents the peaceful and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given 1 warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. Are there any requests for agendas, changes and/or additions? Okay, seeing as how there are no requests, I see we have a couple of discussion items. Oh, we don't need to anyway. I was just looking, I thought it was something else. Okay. All right, and there are no requests for agendas or changes, so public comment. It is now time for public comment. Members of the public who wish to address the city council or its committees must register before the meeting begins. A box will be placed in the entrance to the council chambers for collection of registrations. No additional speakers or slips will be accepted after the meeting begins. Members of the public shall have no more than 3 minutes per speaker during public comment, with only 1 speaking opportunity per speaker. First public speaker, Madam Clerk.
First speaker is James Moore.
You do know it's optional, like you complaining.
No, actually, I'm happy that this first meeting this year has gone well. Y'all have seemed to been able to pass some things, get some things done. No one has threw no shoes across. Hopefully so we can keep it like that for the second meeting and the city will get better. Have a good night.
Thank you. I'm sorry, next public speaker, Madam Clerk. Before we call the next public speaker, Madam Clerk, I would like to reflect for the record there are 9 members present and seated. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
Next speaker is Sarah Houston.
I believe she left.
M. Young.
Good evening, one more time. So thank you, guys. Thank you, every one of you, all 9. Very professional today. I'm proud of you. I knew you could do it. Let's keep doing that in 2026. The collaboration that you guys are having today is very good. I appreciate it. I do have a couple more issues or concerns. We are here, I don't know, how long ago was this remodeled? It was remodeled like 2 years ago, I think, the whole interior. Do we not have the capability to put things on the monitor? You know, if somebody has something to present where we can see it on the monitors? If not, is that something that we can look into? People would like to present things and ideas to you guys sometime and allow the public to see it at the same time that you guys are seeing it. It's just a better form of communication. Let's keep up with the times. Other cities are doing the same thing. Second thing, Sarah Houston left, so I want to also say, let's learn to be inclusive. If you were in those shoes, you would want to be able to hear what's being said about the dollars that you send in every paycheck. I worked with the hearing impaired, and we had a safety issue. He worked outside, and we had a tornado happen, and he didn't hear the siren. And there's nothing you can do. He's out there by himself. He worked by himself out there. There was, nothing we could do at the time, but we came up with a solution. We bought him and others phones that would vibrate for him, and then we could text them back and forth or what have you. So we did something to help him. That's all she's asking you to do, is help the hearing impaired population be able to communicate and listen to what's going on in their city. Help her out. Even getting someone right now until you can get the funds available, we have people that are learning interpretation. Maybe this would be a great way for them to do their work study, what have you. They may not be perfect at it, but let's try something. It's taking too long. What if they show up? They're right down the street. What if a group of them show up? You got to be ready. Thank you again for being professional, and I appreciate the time.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
I believe that Ms. Salvin Blott has left, so the last speaker for this meeting is April Stone.
Good evening. I wanted to speak about a lot of things, but how long I got? 3 minutes.
Can you bring your mic to your mouth?
I think I'm broken. Okay, I'm looking here, I was talking and thinking about that Hamilton Avenue. I worked for Buick and I quit in '96. And when I hired in there was 3 levels under. I hired in the foundry, and the foreman had his Ku Klux Klan bylaws around on one of these things, on the podium. I've never seen so much hatred and prejudice stuff in my life. But the Flint City Hall, you could come down here, and you had somebody working. They had something for the people in this city. They had projects where you could go to learn stuff for the kids and learn dance and everything free. And then Buick and all these shops, they was working, running these plants tax-free. And people had to pay with the property taxes and the school taxes. We ain't got no schools. Why we paying taxes? They running this thing in Detroit, where if you ain't got no kids, you shouldn't have to pay for school taxes. We ain't got no public school but one, I don't think, in the city of Flint. And then we giving these people this land over here on Hamilton. Now, like I say, when I hired in there, and they had three levels of the city. I would be put down, go down in a manhole by myself, 2 levels, and they had storage tanks. They stored Army tanks, and made, back in the 50s and 60s, they could switch over to make Army weapons and everything. And they got levels under this city that run from Hamilton Street to Pearson Road. Ain't no telling where they done dug up now. But when they phased out the foundry, and we come back in there at 81, it was pristine and nice. It looked like something on TV. It was so clean. You could eat off the float almost. Now, I'm wondering what, all of a sudden, all these buildings and businesses popping up over there. And they coming down here getting money to open their businesses up. And then that go on the property taxes for the homeowners.
Thank you.
That's all. Hey.
Madam Clerk, you said that was our final public speaker.
That's right.
Go.
Thank you. Seeing as how that was our last public speaker, it's now time for council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers, only after all speakers have spoken. An individual council member's response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Is there anyone who wishes to speak during council's response?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
I do want to speak to Michelle Young because the community has been asking. We do need to update through you to the city clerk on the residency issues. There was a resolution for people where they reside, and there was supposed to be an investigation. I believe the investigation was going to be sparked with all 9 wards. There was only one that my colleagues voted for, which stated they wanted to know where I live, which I had no problem. And so I voted for myself, but we need to get an update on where that investigation is, who lives in what ward, multiple addresses if you live in wherever you live. And I know you can't live on the same street as me and be in the ward, you just can't. So that needs to be updated, and I want the public to know, because when you were asking, Michelle, there is 26 pages Mr. Arthur Woodson did turn in. Michigan State Police has it, the city attorney has it, the city clerk has it, the Genesee County Sheriff has it. I think he turned it into the State Board of Elections has it. He sent it to the governor, he sent it to the Secretary of State. So every agency, and now I believe Chief Green has it for an investigation. So the residency, we are required to live in our wards, and it's very clear, not to be living, someplace else and, your paperwork. And so we did ask for and voted to have an investigation, and I believe it was supposed to be spiraled into everyone being checked to make sure. So I will request, Madam Clerk, for you to do a referral to update us on residency for the council members so that we can be transparent with the public. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during council response? Seeing as how there's no one else who wishes to speak during council response, I'll take some time. I think, Madam Clerk, correct me if I'm wrong, that resolution, it didn't end up being all 9 members, correct? I think it was just Ms. Burns. You asking us to further investigate you? Because I think you're the only one on the resolution.
It was a resolution about.
Correct. The resolution only ended up being Ms. Burns, correct?
That's correct.
I mean, I have no qualms if she wants to push for an investigation on herself.
No, I approve that sheet. That's, I'll tell you.
No, it was literally just you, remember?
And that's not the conversation that I had afterwards. So.
No, but I know, but you mentioned the resolution.
Yeah, that was part of it.
Okay.
The other one was,
I mean, but that's up to you if you want to push forward on an investigation for the
absolutely.
resolution.
We voted on it.
Okay.
Yeah. But not just mine, because there was also one that was submitted to the city clerk. There was an investigation that was submitted for Mr. El Amin that Arthur Woodson submitted to.
No, I know. I can't speak to that because I don't know anything about that. I was just speaking to, you said the resolution we voted on. Remember, it was just you.
Yeah,
So if
that
you want to
was
push
just
forward
me.
for that, that's cool.
I voted on it, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So then I guess that settles that. We can move on to, I'm yielding my time. We can move on to the consent agenda. What's the pleasure of the body?
Madam Clerk, or Madam Chair, motion to send to council.
Is a motion to send the consent agenda to council. Is there support? It's been moved and properly supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward. Are there separations? Seeing how there are no separations, this is the roll call vote to send the entire consent agenda to council. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alamin? Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no. The entire consent agenda will go to council. It is now time for our special order discussion items. There is a discussion item, public hearing, removal from the appointment of Ethics and Accountability Board. A discussion item is requested by Council President Lewis concerning the possibility of holding a public hearing for the removal of Brian Larkin from the Ethics and Accountability Board. I will turn this over to Councilwoman Lewis to discuss the removal of Brian Larkin as ordered by her.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. So on September the 30th, 2025, we received a letter from the President of the Ethics and Accountability Board, and they were asking to remove 2 members due to their lack of participation, resulting from the extended absence issues. And one of the people already resigned, and the last person is Mr. Brian Larkin, who is the mayor's appointee. And this stated that Mr. Larkin has not attended a meeting of the Ethics and Accountability Board since February 11, 2025, so that'll make it almost a year. And in the letter states that his removal will create an opportunity for the mayor to appoint a new member who will faithfully fulfill the duties of this position. According to this letter, their prolonged absences have hindered the board's ability to achieve quorum and fulfill its oversight responsibility that's maintained by the city charter. And the charter provides the necessary authority in section 1-603, forfeiture of office and removal for cause, which states, except for the ombuds person who served at the will of the Ethics Accountability Board and the city attorney, the city council shall declare the forfeiture of the office of any elected officer or appointee and may remove for cause any person appointed to an office for a fixed term. In every case, there shall be a public hearing before the city council with a public notice published in the manner set forth in this charter. A city council member charged with conduct constituting grounds for forfeiture may not participate in the resolution of the charge. So in accordance with this provision, Mr. Larkin had failed to meet his obligation of attendance and is subject to removal for cause. Therefore, I respectfully request the city council take formal action to remove both members from the Ethics and Accountability Board. The Ethics and Accountability Board plays a vital role in ensuring transparency, accountability, and ethical governance for the citizens of Flint. It is essential that every seat be filled by members committed to active participation. Thank you for your prompt attention to this matter. Respectfully submitted, William C. Harris, Jr., the chairman of the Ethics and Accountability Board in the city of Flint. So I wanted to bring this to the body because Mr. Larkin is still on the board, and unfortunately, he has yet to attend a meeting. And we want to make sure that we are in line with the charter, and this has been a request coming specifically for the board. So I wanted to put it on the table and get the feedback from the body to see what they want the next steps to be. Go ahead, Madam Chair.
Thank you. At this time, we will open the floor up to council members who would like to speak. Councilman in the 8th Ward.
So I guess, just to be clear, this letter was 4 months ago. They haven't obviously attended a meeting since this letter either? And has anybody reached out to them and say, if you're not going to attend, just resign so we don't have to go through this? Nothing?
Dantzler has resigned.
No, I know that, but this is the Brian Larkin, so he won't even answer the phone to say he's going to resign?
No, when I spoke with him, he mentioned that he doesn't have a problem resigning and that he would. But this was 4 months
I spoke
ago.
with Mr. Larkin today, and he stated with me that he has no problem resigning. So
can he send a note to the clerk to say I resign, and we don't have to go?
Yeah, it would just be a matter of in what form or format or to
I think it's
whom
just
should it go?
to Davina, right?
Send it to William Harris.
So it should go to Davina. It should just go to the clerk and say, I resign, and then it's official, right? Madam Clerk?
Yeah, I'm not for having to go through the process of a
And then
public hearing to have
posting
on a
and-
record, and you don't have a problem resigning. That's not the way.
Yes, normally someone would just send a letter,
Send a letter.
send a letter of resignation.
Should that go to your attention?
Correct.
Okay.
And then, or even to the attorney's office, but definitely to the clerk.
Okay.
No, that's fine. I just want to make sure that we don't have to go through this. If they don't have any, I just don't want to have a hearing because they don't show up. I think the hearing is more for if we want to force somebody out. If they don't want to be there, then to me, it's like, okay, I don't want to be there, Madam Clerk, delete me from the system, and then we'd be good. So I just want, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like the floor?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
So this letter is definitely past dated because Ms. Dantzler, she resigned months ago. And to bring it up at this time, to me, this was just not, I think we're all, well, majority of us are baffled by this. This just isn't, I've worked with Brian Larkin, and I don't think he would be unreasonable to say, hey, I'm not going to do it, but I don't think asking and requesting for a public hearing was the proper way to go about this when this is an unpaid volunteer board to be on. And it's almost like a form of humiliation. We don't need a public hearing if he's the mayor's appointment, and Brian, Mr. Larkin is reasonable. I don't see him having a problem with resign. This is unnecessary, and it's unnecessary, and it's unfortunate because his name is being put on the record as if he is derelict in the duty when I don't have a person right now. Matter of fact, I don't think many of us do. You know, I think at least 6 of us don't, and I think Mr. King turned in his resignation. So technically, that's going to be the board 9, 8, 7. You do have one person? Oh, you do have, okay, that's right, William Billy is yours. Listen, it gets rough on that board. And so when we look at this and trying to find someone, this was just not to put him for a public meeting for removal, when I know there are other boards, we should have put people before boards for public hearing or removal. This was not the proper way. He has served this community for many years and served the last 2 or 3 administrations where he served. And it is different. And the board isn't, I don't even know when the board last met. Madam Chair, do you know when the board last, do you, Madam Chair, to the city clerk, would you be an official record keeper, do you know when the board last met?
Actually, I believe that Attorney Cups might be able to better answer that.
Attorney Cups is like, maybe when? It may have been when I was there last, when I was at the meeting. So I think that when we look, this was just not he is and it's not as if we don't know who he is. That's the big difference. Hey, Mr. Larkin, you don't want to be on the board anymore? We need you to submit that in writing. And let's do, I mean, that's just a courtesy. And I don't think he will have wanted his name on our agenda at all. That is very distasteful to have him on our agenda for removal of a board. This is just that, I'm in disagreement with that. But Mr. Jarrett, you said you spoke with him. He's going to, I believe he's in your board. And so, even though he's the mayor's appointment. And did the mayor know about this? Because I'm quite sure he would have called him to tell him. He would have asked him, other than have his name on our public record. So, if it's going to be taken care of according to you, Mr. Jarrett, this was just not the proper way to handle this. And in a letter from September 30th, 2025, I yield the floor.
Madam Chair.
Thank you. Councilwoman in the 2nd Ward.
Thank you. So this is definitely not an attempt to besmirch anyone's reputation or credibility. One thing about this body, we should not have respect of person, and our job is to do the duty of the city. So the part is that the president of this specific board sent this correspondence out in September, and Councilwoman Burbs, your name is attached to it. And so we have my name.
Point of information.
Yes.
My name, because I was at a meeting.
Whoa, hold on.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah. What's your point of information?
My point is, it's not attached, I was attending a meeting. So being attached is not in a negative way.
No, she means on the top of the email. You were.
Yeah, but this is September.
Correct. And so myself, and went to Ms. Young, Clerk Donahue, it went to you, it went to the Honorable Sheldon Neely, as well as Attorney Cups. And we were all on this email sent by the President of the Ethics Accountability Board stating the issue dealing with these two trustees. And
Request for
so,
information.
What is your request?
Madam Chair, through you to the speaker, do you know if, because you stated the mayor is on this letter, do you know if he requested a resignation from Mr. Larkin?
to my knowledge, no, because he's still on the board. I addressed this in September. I reached out several times. I also submitted a letter to Mayor Neely reminding him of this, and we are still here. So I don't want anyone to take this as if this is any kind of attack. This is just me doing my job as one of the individuals named on this letter, so we can make sure that we have proper staffing for our Ethics and Accountability Board. Again, this isn't personal, not at all. I am just relaying the message. And so Mr. Pfeiffer asked, did anyone speak to them? Absolutely, I did. So I reached out. I can show you a copy of the email that I sent to the mayor, as well as Mr. Larkin. So I just want to be clear that putting this on record was not the first attempt. But I want to make sure that we finish all business on the table. So I just want to see what the body wants to do with this, so we can put this to the side and move towards the other pressing issues of the city. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Is there anyone else who would like the floor?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
Considering the numerous people who have said that he is willing to resign, I think we should wait a certain point of time to see if that happens before we take any other action. And if he doesn't resign, then we might need to consider this, but I think, it sounds like he's very willing to do this. I don't want to go through a hearing. It costs money on both sides, so I'm not in favor of having a hearing if he's willing to resign.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during this discussion item?
So are we going to give him a deadline? I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
So are we going to give him a deadline? So what are we going to do? Because we've been waiting since September. So just want to make sure that I'm clear.
So someone reached out to him in September and asked for his resignation?
Yeah, I reached out in September.
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And you spoke with him, was he willing to resign in September?
He said that he would.
Okay. Councilman in the 9th Ward, wait, are you, because I'm going to get whatever his request for information was.
I mean, that's fine.
No, I didn't have another request, but go ahead. I'll speak.
Okay.
Yeah, so Madam Chair, so shall we set a deadline of February 1st? No. So hopefully, I mean, that'll just give him enough time to make a phone call, shoot a quick email, make a trip up to City Hall, just to get this cleared so we can move on.
Request for information.
What is your request?
So his would not be the only one in limbo right now, who has Mr. Joe King turned in his. So should we be asking him, what is his intentions also, if we're cleaning everything up? Mr. Joe King he turned in his too. No, he pulled it back though. So what's his status?
I don't have any knowledge of Mr. King submitting any kind of resignation. I just know specifically that the chair of the EAB board sent this, and this is all I know. So if he sent this communication requesting Mr. King, I'll be totally for it. But it sounds like Mr. King is, per you, that he doesn't have a problem submitting his letter recommendation. He hadn't submitted his. So shall we make it like a February the 1st deadline to give him time?
So before we do that, Councilman in the 9th Ward, go ahead.
I agree with what I believe the councilwoman in the 6th Ward said, that already to show on a resolution or as a discussion item, to have your name on an agenda to talk about a public hearing for this board or any board where you're volunteering on, where between the council president, between the mayor, between the chair of the board itself, we have no documentation that any of those parties reached out to him and asked for resignation before we got here. So at this point, and like I say, I've spoken to him over the phone and since in this meeting via text. No problem sending a letter of resignation to you, Clerk Donahue. I expect him to do it within the next couple of days, but that we are having this discussion on his name in a public meeting, I believe is, to say beyond unfair, I don't even know if that's light. I think there was a different way. I think that there was a better way. And I think that there are those that are listed in this communication that we received a copy of from back in September.
Wait, hold one moment, so you can get your, go ahead, thank you.
Make a motion to add 5-minute discussion time.
Is there support?
Support.
Is moved and properly supported. Roll call, Madam Clerk, to add 5 minutes of discussion. That motion was made by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward and supported by the councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer? Yes. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin is not in. The vote is 8 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 8 yes, 0 no. We will add another 5 minutes of discussion. Councilman in the 9th Ward, please continue.
I am in favor of time for resolution. What I would add to building in a number of days or weeks is from one of the parties to whom Mr. Harris sent his communication, that we have documentation to support that hereafter, after today's meeting, there is communication with Mr. Larkin in request of the resignation of this Ethics and Accountability Board. And not to put it on a, maybe he got a text message from Councilman Jarrett, or maybe he listened to the meeting tonight, or maybe somebody called him and said, I heard your name talked about at the meeting, but there's a direct communication with him with regard to this that has sat stale for upwards of 3 months here now, October, November, December, and to go back into, to understand what's in this letter that goes back to February of 25. It feels like a lot of foot drag, and then all of a sudden now we want to bring it to a public forum, and I'm not in agreement with that. I yield.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Councilwoman Burns.
I'm not putting a deadline on it. Not when I know there's problems with that housing commission and they've sent letters and requesting and other things. I will not give a deadline. He's professional enough to where he will respond, and I'm not doing that. And we shouldn't even be bringing his name up. We have more pressing issues than him being on the board, that, because he has not, I'm just, no. So I'm not putting a deadline. I'm not giving him 30 days, 90 days. I'm not. I don't even know if they have enough people to even meet on the board. And so, we talk, and we can't, it's difficult to get people to want to be on the board. This letter is back in September. So it's unfortunate. And we can't take back that he's now on our public record. I don't like that. I do not. So he's going to take care of it. Brian is a very on-time person. He will take care of it. I've worked with him. I respect his work. And I know he will take care of it. And it will probably be done tonight. Because one thing he won't do is he's worked with this community is allow his name to be put on some nonsense that's happening on our city council. So I yield the floor.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to this discussion item? All right, seeing as how there's no one else who wishes to speak to this discussion item, we'll go ahead and close that one out. Moving on to the next discussion item, which is a discussion item about asbestos and mold testing in the Flint Police Department. A discussion item as requested by Council President Lewis for a discussion regarding asbestos and mold testing within the Flint Police Department. Councilwoman Lewis, I'll turn the floor over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Madam Chair. So through you to Mr. Edwards, please. Or Lee, excuse me, thank you.
All righty. Thank you for joining us at the front.
She's so full of shit. Yes, it is.
Hi.
Okay, Mr. Osborne, so I was.
Councilwoman in the second ward.
Yeah, so I was made aware that testing was done at the Flint Police Department, but it wasn't specifically for asbestos and mold. So did you all finally do the specific asbestos and mold testing?
We did do a mold testing, yeah, I have it right here.
You said you did do
Yes.
it?
Yep.
And did you do the asbestos too?
That has been done. I have a book of asbestos. The last meeting, I brought that with me. So there was no, I mean, we have asbestos in the building, yes, but that particular area, we did not. I mean, it was specific done for mold and.
Okay, so what was the findings of the mold testing?
There was some fungus on the walls and stuff, and it was very minute, and they said it was fine. It was under the radar. So like I said, there is I mean, I have one right here if you'd like to see it, but.
Okay, is it possible for you to?
Email it or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get that. I'll get it to Davina and she can get it to you guys.
Okay, because I know that was, that the air quality was an issue that council was looking into.
Yeah.
And was some wallpaper removed?
Yep.
And the mold spores was behind the wallpaper?
Correct.
All right, and it created I guess, a irritant in the air?
That's what they said, but.
Okay.
I mean, when they did the air quality, there was, like I said, there was nothing found. I mean, we took it off, I sealed it, I called for the inspection, they inspected it. They said that it was, wasn't out of control or anything. And then actually, I have cut that all out now to replace it. So all that drywall is gone that had the fungus on it.
Okay, I know, I would like to see it. And then I would also like to give the floor to my colleagues if they like it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like the floor during this discussion? Councilman in the 8th Ward, you have the floor.
So, I'm not sure why asbestos is on here. We didn't disturb any asbestos, right? It's only dangerous if we disturb it, right?
Right.
So I don't know why the asbestos is on here. And, so the mold spores were not airborne, according to the report?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, they did the air quality test, and like I said, it come back.
Yeah, I know that seeing mold is disturbing, but it's not necessarily airborne.
Correct.
So unless you disturb it and improperly clean it or whatever else, it's not a hazard. Is that a correct statement?
Correct.
Okay.
And there's a lot of different molds as well.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, as soon as they see mold, they think it's the killer
Yeah.
black mold, and it's, yeah.
Okay, I yield. Thank you.
Anybody else who wishes to speak to this discussion item?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
Thank you. Hey, Lee.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So what are the results? Were those 2024, or what's the date of the results for the mold?
I just did it last week.
Last week? Oh, so, because I talked to Chief Green.
Yep.
So you're going, okay, yeah. And
I
so
just
you're
did it, and matter of fact, when I cut the board out, they came back yesterday and did another report, which I haven't got that one back yet. But
Okay, that's not in the hallway in the basement tunnels,
Yes.
which were painted?
Yep.
You had to cut all of that out all the way down? It was about?
Nope, 4 foot. I did just where it was, where you seen the
Yeah.
pictures that was taken.
The pictures
I cut
that were
all
given
out.
to me, yeah.
Yep, I cut that all out.
So that was painted over. Was that where you put the keels on?
Yep. So
And
when
the
we took
keels
it down,
didn't
and
work?
when we took it down, we found it, so it didn't get airborne. I went ahead and we put a sealer on it to seal it, so it didn't go nowhere. Then I called for an inspection, and we had the airborne.
Did that flood down there? Because that was pretty
It has
high.
quite a few times, yes.
That's
in the
what
past.
Mark Zeta's office and Sam Muma's office. I'm
Yes.
talking about that.
It flooded a few times over the years. It
That
has
was
flooded.
a lot of water.
Yeah, yeah, we've had some big floods down there that come from police, that come from the first level, and kind of came down.
Was it rain or was it pipes?
Both. We had a pipe burst. It was a water line a few years back, and then we've had rain a couple times. So it's been both.
Okay, and so you're going to send us a copy of those. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Because when that was brought to my attention, I spoke with you and I spoke to Chief Green. I am the one who put the resolution up
Yep.
to make sure that we test, because I want to make sure that as our police officers are out there working, that they can at least come to a safe and clean environment and healthy environment where you can breathe the air.
Yep.
But I know there were some issues, and then Dennis, one of the things with asbestos was some of the pipes were disturbed in the original resolution, and I'll send you the pictures. And so, and they were concerned about the asbestos in the fibers, because what's happening is that it's our officers later who sit in those offices, they're getting aggressive cancers once they retire, and they're concerned about it. And so I do go to the retired police officers' breakfasts and then the picnics that they have, and it was a concern still. And we're looking at how aggressive that they are. And literally, you can see the asbestos pipes were disturbed. The asbestos was disturbed in those pipes. But
That
you
was-
stated
That was from a long time ago.
that was a long time, so
Yep.
that has been repaired since then?
That has not. We are.
It has not?
No, but
It's
that was a while back. Someone had taken the ceiling tiles down. I believe somebody in that office took the ceiling tiles down for whatever reason, and that was exposed. So there's asbestos in the building, but if it's not.
So what do we do about, is someone in that area?
It is kind of a storage area right now, I believe.
Because
I
it was
mean,
someone's office, wasn't it?
No, I believe it was in a storage where they keep their uniforms. I believe that's where it was at.
So I know the building has got issues because
Yes.
of the year of it and going through emergency management, that we were unable to keep maintenance up proper on the buildings, actually.
Right.
So if you can send those over so we could have those, because that's something, and make sure you send them to the news. You know, I don't know who does, Mr. Edwards is back there. Mr. Edwards, if you can make sure that the news is kept abreast also for the public, so that those retirees who have had questions about the quality air, that they can be kept abreast too, because it's serious. I mean, that was a lot of water, and then the asbestos part. So you're doing nothing about that part up there?
Yes, no, we will have it. I will get that sealed. There's like 190. I mentioned that last time I
It
was here.
looked like it
There's
flooded
one-
up there, like it was.
No. So the insulation, when it gets wet, because it condensates in the summer, so we're running cold water through it, and all the insulation will have, marks on it or whatever, but the only things that's asbestos is the fittings themselves, the 90s and stuff. The straight runs are all fiberglass. Matter of fact, my OSHA was out yesterday and I did a walkthrough with him, and he came up with the same thing, so.
Okay, so, and that is what needs to be conveyed so that the workers know
Yep.
that it's done. Now, that locker room that was a closet or something before, does that have any, the women's locker room, does that have asbestos in it? Or, it floods. Was there-
Right, well, I'm assuming in the ceiling it probably does, but again,
Yeah.
like Ms. Pfeiffer said, if you don't disturb it, it is,
When do you start on the ladies' locker room that floods?
we're going about that right now. We're getting the contractors
That's
and
like
everything
4
else.
different times.
Yep.
The women officers deserve.
Yep. No, it's, matter of fact, I think we got the PO and stuff from you guys a few weeks ago or something, so we'll be starting that really soon. Probably next month, probably, is what we're
And
looking
so
at.
we should look for something to be coming up here.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
The ladies' locker room that floods.
Yeah, you guys already
Did we
approved
approve
that.
that one?
Yep, not to exceed like 50 grand or something, if I believe. That's already approved, we just got the.
50 grand for the way that looks?
Yep, yeah, I believe that's what it was. I don't remember, but
Yeah.
it was new lockers and, redoing it. That's what I believe it was.
I'm gonna have to go back to look at that one, okay.
Yep, it was approved.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during this discussion item? Seeing as how there's no one else, thank you, Lee.
All right,
We will
thank
go
you.
ahead and close out this discussion item. Moving on to our final discussion item of the evening, a discussion item, public access. Discussion item as requested by Council President Lewis to allow for a public access update.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So through you, can we bring Mr. Paul Herring to the lectern?
Well, really quickly, can you give some information on this particular item?
Sure. So we have an issue with our public access. So for the residents that are dependent on Channel 17 to watch the council meetings, they're not able to do so. And Mr. Herring, he is here to speak on that. Okay. All right. So through you, Madam Chair, to Mr. Herring, could you please approach the lectern?
Good evening, council. Wow, it's been a while. It has been a while. I have some paperwork that I'd like to hand out. Should I give it to Davina? So a quick story. As I was printing those out this morning, I ran out of ink, and I ran over to Office Depot to get the additional copies. And the woman told me it was going to be $120 to have the color copies made for you guys. So I decided not to do that. You guys got the $20 copies, and they're black and white, and we should be able to deal with this toot sweet. So I've got more than enough time to do what I need to do. So I want to bless you with 3-4 minutes of my time to review the package you just got. I know that when it comes in the email, you might brush it off and because you just don't have time. But I'm going to gift you my time to go through it, and then I'll explain a little more detail and a little more history. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Paul Herring. I operate Spectacle Productions, which has a management contract for public access. I think as we talk about transparency, if you neglect public access, you neglect transparency. Right now, the only place these meetings are being seen is on YouTube. Only 30% of the city of Flint is online. 98% have cable. So you're kind of missing your mark by just shooting your shot on YouTube. Most people will pay for cable before they'll go to a movie. They can watch that cable every day from their living room, from their house. It's entertainment, and it's a distraction, and it's an escape. They pay their cable bills. I also operate WFOV 92.1 LP FM Flint. It's our low-power FM radio station, designed to be a conduit for this exact thing, designed to be the voice of this chamber to the community. It's free. You don't have to pay a subscription to listen to the radio. You have to pay to be on the internet. You have to pay to watch on Channel 17. The radio station is free. So those of you who don't know me, I, for 30 years, broadcast these meetings on Fact Channel 17. That's what my contract was. My contract was to broadcast on Fact 17. When I tried to get a hearing impaired interpreter, when I tried to move you guys to the internet, I was turned down. So my company, Spectacle Productions, started broadcasting you guys on YouTube without compensation, We started broadcasting you on WFOV at our expense. And it was easily justified. I had a contract here at the city to record the city council meetings, and it's kind of a 2-button push to make those other things happen. Unfortunately, that's not the case right now, and the expenses are directly out of my pocket. As of July of this year, Comcast has decided not to add any additional programming to the channel. As of July of this year, they told me that they were fixing the server on the channel. So now I don't know how many of you guys know what a server is, but a server is pretty much a computer. It takes all of 20, 30, 45 minutes to change a server. It could take a day, 2 days, a week to upload to it. But July. I've checked in occasionally, said, what's the status? And he says, it's not a seamless process, Paul, we're working on it. But rest assured, ESPN would not go down since July for a server change.
Madam Chair?
Councilman in the eighth ward.
I don't see where this is going, Paul. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know what ESPN has to do with public access.
I'm actually just trying
I'm
to
just
give you the
trying to-
4 minutes. I'm sorry, I'm trying to give you the 4 minutes
Yeah,
to speak, and I know I can't stand up here silent.
Can we, no offense, but can we just say what you're trying to ask us for and what this is about versus a server?
I certainly can.
Thank you.
But actually, the server is the big part of it. That is the story they're telling me. They're telling me that they cannot play any of the programming that I present to them because they're changing the server. And I'm trying to explain that changing a server is not a big deal.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying that since July, and it is now January, they have not been adding new content to their channel, and that city council meetings, which are supposed to run on the public access channel, has not been running on the public access channel?
The repeats of your council meetings that are supposed to play on Sundays and Sundays and Sundays, they're supposed to play on Sundays, have not been playing.
Correct.
I send a signal. I get control of Channel 17 prior to your meetings, and then I relinquish control of it the following morning. So from 4:30 on a Wednesday till 9 a.m. on Thursday, I have control of the channel. But other than that, nothing else is being allowed to play. And we do that on the Wednesday meetings and the Monday meetings.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I do believe that we had an agreement with Comcast. It was a quite lengthy agreement. It is my understanding that that agreement that we have in place with Comcast, does that end anytime soon?
The agreement is a 10-year agreement.
It was a 10-year agreement, okay.
And it was signed in 2016, so it would expire December of this year.
So the agreement is, it is already lapsed or ended, come to an end, whatever you want to call it?
No, it would end at the end of this year.
It would end at the end of this year?
December of 2026.
December of 26.
Right.
And you said that it was originally signed, a 10-year agreement was originally signed when?
2016.
And that was December of 2016?
Correct.
Okay. All right. And to your knowledge, some of the things that Mr. Herring is discussing as far as their responsibilities in that said agreement, are those some of the responsibilities or some of the agreements in our contract?
There is a section for the PEG channels, the public education government channels. So I do know, and having worked with Mr. Herring through the years, that there was concern that some of the things that are in the contract were not enforced as far as.
So there are things that were in the contract that have not been upheld?
Correct.
Okay.
Just looking at, like, one of the things is the fees. I do know that this contract says that there will be 0% in fees. But yes, there are certain things that are in the current contract that are not being enforced by Comcast.
When you say 0% fees tied to something, so 0% fees if this thing is met, or is it just flat 0%?
Just for the PEG fees, not Comcast pays regular percentage that they're supposed to, but just the PEG fee thing stood out to me. But the contract does say that there's a 0% revenue for PEG fees, so I don't know.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
So Comcast does pay the regular percentage of fees. We do get that check on a regular basis.
So we do get that check?
Right.
And that check goes where?
It comes to the clerk's office, and then it's received by the city into the general fund.
Thank you. Okay, proceed.
And, yeah, so I can forward this to all the council right now so they can see the franchise agreement. It will be need to be renewed. It is generally done by ordinance.
Are we entitled to PEG dollars?
Do we?
We are
pay?
not, okay.
They pay the city.
Okay.
So, but it is a contract that'll have to be redone because it is going up, but it is generally usually for 10 years.
Okay.
And I do know that there is another.
Because I do know that other communities do use PEG dollars that they get from Comcast, and what they do is build some sort of communications department or something within the school, so a media department, so they can do like newsrooms and teach their youth how to go into being professional reporters or journalists or whatever they're going to do. So I do know that other people.
The last contract does say 0% for revenues for that. But it's, it would come before the council again as an ordinance.
You said it will come before us as an ordinance?
That's correct.
And you said the standard is 10 years? Has there ever been a time where it wasn't 10 years? 10 years is a very long time.
Just me going back, I just know it's usually a 10-year thing. It's the administration signs off on it, but it does come before the council as an ordinance because
it comes before council, and so I'm assuming that 10-year, because some of the stuff that you are saying is interesting, that we somehow settled for not having PEG fees, or, we just get like a flat rate check that just comes and we put it in the general fund. I think that as it comes back around, we should probably be more conscientious and just a little bit more Flint forward as we're negotiating our next contract.
And, yes, and I do believe there is another provider within the city, so it's not just Comcast. So definitely something that legal would have to look at, but it's probably something that needs to start to look at now because, it will end at the end of this.
It's not like an auto renew though. It's not, nowhere in the contract does it say, so if we fail to negotiate, or if we don't respond, or if we don't bring a new contract, that they automatically get another 10 years or just renews for next year, or, it's nothing like that, correct?
Not in this contract, but the laws that govern this, there are some stipulations. So it is something that would.
The laws that govern, are those local laws, state laws? Whose laws are those?
That would be state law.
That would be state law? Is there any way we can get a copy of that law as well? When you send that other information, can you send that as well?
Correct, I will.
And Attorney Cups, we would also like to just kind of have something from you with like an interpretation of that state law, what that means, and how we can move as a council to ensure that we're not just doing automatic rollover of 10 years of something, that we should probably be a little bit more Flint forward again on how it looks for us.
That's exactly the point I wanted to be making. I was getting around to it.
And so, Mr. Herring, we do have like 1 minute left, and I'm sorry, I will vote to extend the time so my colleagues can speak as well. But can you just give us a concise, you are bringing this to our attention that a server's been down since July, no new content has been added, and that, go ahead.
The contract is coming up in December, and it is critical and crucial that we let this contract expire. Due to an agreement that was made with Comcast, we have lost all abilities to sue, challenge, or do anything. This agreement was so horrible, it gave up almost $30 million for a $56,000 settlement.
Right. Well,
and it took our ability away to sue them for anything other than them stopping us from having access to the channel.
Right. So we do, which sounds like something like that may be happening. What we will do is with this information you've provided, we'll also get this to our attorneys. I don't know if we necessarily want to use the word "let it expire" because there's some state law where they might
Let
have
me
some
use my
standing.
58 seconds to
Have at
say that the last contract was sent to us and went into effect whether we signed it or not.
Right,
It's
and we-
important for you guys to know that nobody here has a 10-year cell phone contract.
Right.
Nobody. The landscape for television is totally changing. If we don't negotiate for broadband fees and modems, we're out of it. That $900,000 that you guys count on now will go away. So I wanted to let you know where I am now. I'll keep communicating with Comcast, and we'll keep trying to figure out a way to solve it. But I didn't want to wait till September to come before you. As a matter of fact, you're going to see me probably another dozen times. Because this is important. This is how your community gets this information, via me.
Right, well, what we don't want to do, because I know you said use the word "expire," that's why we're going to turn over to our attorneys, because again, state law might give them some standing, so we want to make sure that we're doing what we should need
See
to
if
do.
expiration is the best option.
We
I know
do-
renewing isn't.
Real quick, Mr. Herring, we do need to put a motion on the floor 4 more time in order to continue this discussion item.
Thank you.
Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
Make a motion to add 5 minutes?
Let's do 10, so we
10,
can
I
wrap
was
it up.
thinking 10.
Okay.
10 more minutes to the discussion time.
It's been moved by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward to add 10 more minutes to the discussion item, supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashad?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer? Yes. Mr. Jarrett? Yes. Mr. Alamin? Yes. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no. What I will do is yield the floor for my colleagues, because we do have 10 additional minutes, and I feel like I've spoken enough.
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
Paul, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So you are the one operating our feed.
Yes and no.
Okay, so,
I am operating the feed that shows on Channel 17.
okay. And so there are no more shows like there used to be the Eric Mays show. Is that still being recycled?
You know, it might. They said they were going to only play what was already there.
Well, that was there.
So that was there. So they may be rerunning them.
Okay. Okay. That's my, thank you.
No problem. So that,
Is there anyone else who would like the floor? Councilman in the 9th Ward.
Thank you. Good evening, sir.
thank you.
So, if I understand, you're currently still having production on YouTube, is that correct?
Correct, yep.
Okay. And for the YouTube feed, you're currently using cameras that are set in the room?
Correct. The
All right.
system that I designed.
Pardon me?
The system that I designed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, related but not directly to the Comcast portion, and I think you've been here all night, so you've sort of heard us talking about having conversation around interpreters.
Yes.
And potentially having them or looking to add them in some way. How do you envision being able to accommodate that?
It's brilliant. I mean, I liked what the woman said about using the interns at the Michigan School for the Deaf.
I mean for capturing it for video purposes.
For capturing, I'd put her in an oval on the screen and here in the room. I'd let her do it from her bedroom or her living room. I wouldn't cost them the expense of coming down. Personally, I'd rather see the students at the Michigan School for the Deaf that are about to graduate come down and get them some on-the-job training hours.
So okay, so I guess that's a whole nother option, having them be remote. But I'm talking about if we have that person in the room, how would you accommodate that?
I'd probably add another camera to the system.
Okay, and
I'd add another camera, and I believe the software, and I'm not sure what she finally decided on, but the software should allow for them to do a picture-in-picture, which would allow for an interpreter to be in the lower left-hand corner or a split screen or whatever you wanted to do.
So the addition of the camera, that's at what expense? How does that get paid for?
Well, it matters. I mean, these cameras are probably $15,000. You don't need that. You just need a little. The eyes only have 3,700 cones in it, and they can only see 3,600K. So anything beyond 3,600K is a waste of money.
All right.
4K, 8K, 6K, it's all propaganda.
Okay. Thank you. I didn't want to take too much time with that line of question, but I was curious to know how you would envision being able to add that.
One of the things, I think the way we've lasted this long is that my contract doesn't require me to provide the hearing impaired stuff, but I want it to. So once you take it out of the municipality's responsibility, the ADA and all that kind of stuff doesn't apply.
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman in the Fourth Ward.
just a quick question, Paul. You were talking about using Michigan's students from the Michigan School for the Deaf. Was that to teach broadcasting?
No,
Or
I
was
mean,
that for using to doing sign language interpreting?
I wouldn't mind both.
You can't, they.
You know, I wouldn't mind both, but for the sign language, I'm thinking that, you know, if you're a junior and you're going into sign language as a
You're not
profession,
going to have that at Michigan School for the Deaf.
they just teach the deaf students.
They teach the deaf students. You'd
It's
get that
Gallaudet. It's Gallaudet out of
And
Washington.
you also have to, because it's a legal proceedings type, you have to have certain level of qualifications.
The
that
government
you
has
test
to.
out.
You guys do, but I don't. I can hire anybody to do it.
You want to make sure that that.
I want to make sure. I want to make sure that they're
Paul,
getting an
Paul,
opportunity. Yeah.
You want to make sure that whoever does the interpreting is very competent at their job, because that's why there are so many levels and qualifications of interpreters across the state and across the country.
Yeah, I would hope that it would be a
Where the
course,
board
and they wouldn't be by themselves, that they'd have their teacher or their supervisor or whatever it was necessary to make this an OJT.
So I just wanted to let you know that interpreters, you're not going to find them at Michigan School for the Deaf. I mean, the students will not be able to do that because they're there because they are deaf and hard of hearing. So they're not going to be able to interpret if they can't hear the full conversation.
Understood.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're understood.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Councilwoman in the Second Ward.
Thank you. Mr. Herring, does Channel 17 have closed caption options? I don't know if they spoke to that.
Comcast does not close caption to I mean, I can close caption my stuff and put the scrolls. I can take a transcript and superimpose it, or I can hire a third-party company. But I don't have those obligations, nor do I care to have that expense.
Point of information.
What is your point of information?
Closed captioning is done by a third party. It's never done by the company.
Incorrect. I mean, I can buy software that'll do closed captioning on my computer right now.
Okay, thank you. So, because I remember that the sign language interpreter, I think they were saying like it'd be like $160 per person a meeting. So how much would this software cost?
The software companies are probably equal to that, but the software, the camera, and the camera, maybe $1,000.
So you said the camera would be $1,000?
For you guys to do it, the camera, $1,000.
Okay, so we're talking about, closed captioning for our meeting on Channel 17, you said the camera will cost $1,000?
No, that's for a hearing an interpreter. That's to have somebody here in front of the camera doing sign language. That camera would do that.
Okay.
If I were to do it from my studio right now, they could use their iPhone, and they could jack into the feed and be in the lower corner of the whole meeting from their living room.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm talking about Channel 17 right now.
This is 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is, like when you're watching the movie and they got the captions on it, So will they be able to go home and from their house, will they be able to look at closed captions of our meeting?
No.
So there's no way that we can make that happen?
Yeah, real expensive.
Real
Real
expensive?
expensive to live closed caption. You're talking a couple $1,000s a meeting.
A meeting?
Especially when you go, yeah, you guys go 4 hours.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to this discussion item? Mr. Herring, finish this out if you would like.
Yes, a couple things. We actually have 2 channels in the city of Flint. One was bequeathed to Mott College. So that's a problem. And then the other thing is we're supposed to have a 3rd channel that's supposed to just be dedicated to government operations. So the Public Service Commission meetings, ethics
Who's
and
responsible
accountability.
for that third, like, where's that third channel supposed to air?
It's supposed to have been turned on for us, and it probably would have been 19.
Is that in our agreement?
It is not in, well, the 3rd channel was in the 20-year ago agreement. The one that we're working on now, it was totally wiped out of. So that other channel, I guess, is a contention, a bone of contention for us with Comcast. It should be ours. I need to reach out to Mott and find out what kind of experience they're having with their channel, because I don't know who's programming that right now. I do know that 10 years is a long time, guys.
When you say bequeath to Mott, what does that mean? Do you mean like it is their channel, or we just allow them to use it?
They're responsible for programming it.
All right.
They're responsible for programming, but the last I knew, and this is maybe 5 or 6 years ago, they weren't. You know, we always do what we've always done. We'll always get what we've always gotten.
Awesome, 20 seconds.
If we want something we've never had before, we got to do something that we've never done before.
You're currently in front of us because Channel 17.
Is important.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
I gotta close off the discussion item, ma'am.
No, you don't. I just motion to adjourn.
All right, I am going to go ahead and close out that discussion item.
Motion to adjourn.
There's a motion to adjourn by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward. Is there support? Supported by the councilwoman in the 3rd Ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter is not in. Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson? Yes. The vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 0 no. The time is now 8:13 p.m. on January 7th. I call our official first committee, our last committee meeting of today, to adjourned. Yeah.